Marine hot water in McDonald's.
What an atmosphere!
Triple M rocks footy.
It's what rugby league's all about. Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Oh, great game of rugby league this afternoon in the first game. Manly taking on Melbourne. This is Triple M NRL prime time, all thanks to Mitsubishi Heavy Industries air conditioners. Buzz Rothfield, James Graham, Gordon Tallis, Ben Dobbin with you for the next 15 minutes. Then Dan Gadane will be stepping in. And Buzz, hello, my friend. Great to have you. Great to have a real journo in this now, mate. Like, just
who are you having a shot at? Hoops or Reedy or Chamis or, you know, there's a few journos at this network.
No, well, we're not having a shot at anybody. That's your job. Anyway, it's now time for this.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz?
What's the buzz, Phil Rothfield? What do you got for us, my friend?
What have I got? I wrote a story this morning about Brad Arthur, ex-Parramatta Eels coach. Rang him during the week in Leeds, and he's very, very homesick. He's missing being in Australia as his sons are on their NRL journeys. Jake at Manly, young Matt in Newcastle, very good hooker.
Yeah.
And, I got the impression, well, he told me he's really missing life out here, and he was offered an extension by Leeds, but he has declined at the moment.
Right.
He's not death riding any of the current coaches, but, well, at least he says he isn't.
Yeah.
But as history shows, in the last 10 years, there's an average of 3 coaches have been removed from their jobs each year.
Well, there is some good coaches coming across. I mean, Brad Arthur, he's one of the top coaches coming across. But if we have a look at a list, Buzz, of just the coaches that are available that potentially would really want to come to the NRL, who have you got down? And we were talking about this a little earlier, but there is some very good coaches waiting in the wings for an NRL gig.
Mate, the obvious ones are Brad Arthur, Jason Demetrio and Josh Hannay, who went very close to getting the Parramatta job. But then there's some new guys like Willie Peters is doing a sensational job at Hull Kingston Rovers. Very, very highly regarded by people like Mitchell Pearson. I think he coached Adam Reynolds, and Adam Reynolds would certainly give him a reference. He coached at South. The other guy I keep hearing is doing a great job for Madge at the Broncos is Ben Teo.
Yeah.
There's a huge rap on him and his progression in recent years, and I don't know who the first coach is going to be sacked. I know someone will go mid-year. I noticed the bottom sides this weekend got off the mark and had their first wins, but I'm talking 16 weeks down the track when, I'm sure we're going to be having this discussion.
Certainly are.
Someone you probably missed off there as well, Chad Randall, who's doing an amazing job at the Bulldogs. He's the assistant coach, and, he's the defensive coach. And we look at the hallmark of the Bulldogs' success. I don't want to see him go out that building, but if, we talk about culture and defence, he knows that he is in charge of that system, so don't be surprised to see a club look at him. Yeah,
it'd be a really interesting story to look at the back room and the assistant coaches at each club, because Jimmy just mentioned Chad Randall. I'll tell you who else has done a sensational job at the Bulldogs, and that is Jason Taylor.
No question.
The one-on-one work he has done with Toby Sexton, a kid who joined the club, confidence down, tough run at the Titans, who has emerged not as an elite halfback, but a very, very good one. And much of Canterbury's success can be put down to what Jason's been doing one-on-one with the two halves, Matt Burton as well.
Yeah, he's very good. And look, obviously he's had some NRL experience. We spoke with Adam Reynolds a little earlier, Buzz. You've written an article today that he looks like he's going to be pushed out of Brisbane. Now, Reno, he was very coy about wanting to say too much. What's your understanding on this situation?
Well, my understanding is this, Dobbo, that the Broncos have no room and never planned in their salary cap. And clubs don't plan just now. They'd turn my phone off, Dobbo.
Jeez, Buzz.
They got me on air doing that the other day.
Mate, that was 360 on Monday.
Yeah.
No, the Monday before.
Monday before. Now, do you know that's normally a carton of beer?
Oh, is it? Well, sorry for being a journalist and having my phone on 24/7.
Let me finish.
The bloke who rang too, it's very likely to be a breaking story. I better ring him during the ad break.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, so where do you think Reynolds will land?
Well, I tell you the problem. You don't plan your cap for next year. You plan years in advance, right? 2-3 years in advance. They have whiteboards and they look at their roster in 26, 27, possibly even 28. And Adam Reynolds isn't on it. They thought he was going to retire. So what they did, they signed Ben Hunt for 2 years. Now, the money they've given Ben Hunt is going to stop them signing Adam Reynolds again, unless they let Payne Haas go, Tony Staggs go, Selwyn Cobbo go, or, you know, the lock forward, Kobe Hebron. I don't know how they're going to get themselves out of this situation. I love seeing the Broncos back to being a rugby league powerhouse. They can't have them all. The cap breaks, you know.
Well, Penrith has suffered for years. They'd like to keep their top quality players together, but you can't afford to keep them all.
Yeah, I don't want to see Adam Reynolds leave that club. It was so, you know, distraught for him and his family when he left South. He was going to be a one-club player. He's settled in. He's Mr. Brisbane now after 3 or 4 years there. And I think
Alfie's Mr. Brisbane.
Oh, well,
he's runner-up.
Yeah, well, there you go, Gordy. You know Brisbane better than I. But what I'm trying to explain is how well he's settled in to that club. And I have no doubt with his footy now, his brain, he's a little general, he will coach that club one day. When, you know, I just don't want to see him playing for a rival NRL club. But if they are leading the comp after 10 weeks and his hammy isn't as bad as we hope it's not, there are going to be a lot of rugby league clubs in this competition who want him for a year.
Well, there's one just down the road called Redcliffe.
Or the Gold Coast Titans.
There you go.
More interesting. Tug of war for Wayne Bennett. Tell me that South Sydney's going to be his final destination, Buzz.
Well, he's 75 years of age, and when his contract's up at 78. But Peter V'landys, for 2 years, knowing PNG were going to come into the competition, is trying his hardest to convince Wayne to take on the franchise. Same as he did with the Dolphins, an immediate success in the competition, a magnet for good players. You know what? There was even talk at one stage that they'd provide Wayne with a jet so he could basically live in Brisbane but get on a private jet to PNG.
Stop.
I'm telling you, I wrote the headline, Benny and the Jets. It's true.
Benny and the Jets.
Good song, Gordy.
Are you allowed to tap up coaches already? You can't do that for a player, can you?
No, you can't. You can't. I spoke to Blake Solly about it, and Blake says we want him here for as long as he wants to be here. What he's done with South this year, and, you know, not just with the football side he's coaching, that lock forward you were talking about, Lachlan Hubner, early, here's a fantastic story, because when he came to South, Dob, I heard you touch on this. He said to him, I want to sign Lachlan Hubner. He said, don't worry, we already have. So the South recruitment guys had already picked him up.
Right.
He's a very, very good player. But look, I don't know. You're closer to Wayne. We're texting, which is something. But I sent him a text the other night when they beat East. I said, glory, glory, Wayne. Glory, glory.
Does he get back to you, Buzz?
He did this today.
Yeah, he gets back to you. Oh, did he?
Yeah, it always takes 48 hours, but he gets back.
Yeah, well,
mate, he must have been out celebrating, having his can of Coke and the chocolate.
that was an outstanding. What's the buzz? And you know, geez, you bring a lot to this station these days. Since you've been part of it.
I tell you what, I was dirty about the ticket prices. The Wallabies are charging $279, even for a child or concession holder, to go and watch a game of football.
Yeah, it's not right. They've got some real issues.
As I wrote this morning, unless you're from Mossman, where you're from.
Buzz.
You know what?
You're doing very well, Buzz.
You know what?
I'm
going to get Ladbrokes to give us like a market.
No.
I guarantee you, this bloke will be there.
Where at? Where are you saying I'm going to? Instead of pointing, put
Ben
the mitt
Dobbin,
down.
you will be at the rugby.
What rugby?
You know you'll be there.
I went and watched University second grade Colts play the other day because my son was playing. Yes, yeah.
But you will go watch the Wobblies, and play. Who are they playing?
Well, I don't know
The
who they're
Lions.
playing.
Tell me,
Lions.
true or false, are you from Mossman?
No.
You
False.
are.
Oh, Buzz, don't start. I
You are,
thought
mate.
a lot more of you before you started this crap. Don't drink the Kool-Aid of these two idiots. Now listen, Triple M.
You wouldn't be talking about myself and James.
Yes,
Graham,
I am.
would you?
Launch your punting plan with the Ladbrokes app. Take on the fun. Download the Ladbrokes app today. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Jared Timms, can you please come in? How are you, mate?
I was going to say, what a time for me to join the conversation. I'm great, Dobbo. How are you?
Yeah, you're rock solid, mate. Dogs were excellent against the Sharks last week. The Ladbroke punters think they'll get the job done 2 in a row at the expense of the Knights.
They do, Dobbo. Very well backed in the Ladbrokes market today are the Bulldogs. They're into $1.42 favouritism now with us. The Knights, they were pretty underwhelming against the Titans a couple of weeks ago. Maybe better off the week off. We'll soon find out. They're out at $2.90, so the line is 7.5 points.
Who's the leading market for the first try scorer, mate?
A good push for Marcelo Montoya today, actually, Dobbo. He's, in fact, pretty well the best backed in our market. He's into $7 with Ladbrokes. There has been at least a sprinkling of interest for a few of them, though. $8.50 Blake Wilson. Greg Marzi was the top leg for the Knights today, $9.75. $10.50 about both James Schiller and Bronson Zeri. Now, I think the value might be the next two lines of betting today, Dobbo. Stephen Crichton, $13. Bradman Best, $15.
Timsy, as always, great to hear your voice. Can you build us another same-game multi for this first game on the Sunday afternoon, please?
I can indeed, Jimmy. Look, the home side has covered the line in each of the last 5 games that the Knights have played in. So I'm going to take the Bulldogs as favourites to cover the line again today with Crichton and best scoring tries at any time. $13 even in a Ladbrokes same-game multi.
Good on you, Jared Timms. We'll talk to you next week, mate.
Thanks, Dobbo. Good luck, punters.
Launch your punting plan with the Ladbrokes app. Take on the fun and download the Ladbrokes app today. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
This is Primetime Danganane. After this break, we'll take a break, come back with the countdown between Manly and Melbourne, not far away.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Marine hot water and McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
We've been paying your M's, yeah. Free tolls for a year. The M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, M7, and the
Triple M's pay your M's.
We just want to know, what tolls do you use?
Free tolls for an entire year.
The M5 and the M4.
M2 and M7 tolls every day.
Congratulations, you've won tolls for a year.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys.
The Triple M toll booth opens with Triple M breakfast and right across the day tomorrow.
With NRMA Insurance, you could enjoy our multi-policy discount when you take out 2 or more eligible policies. NRMA Insurance, a help company. Discount applies in tiers based on the number of eligible policies. Maximum tier reached at 9 eligible policies. Visit nrma.com.au/customer-discounts for more info. Discount may be subject to minimum premiums. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance at nrma.com.au.
Harvey Norman Seconds World. There are only 2 in Sydney, Auburn and Penrith. Selling carton damaged, superseded, factory seconds display stock. TVs, fridges, washers, cookers, dryers, freezers, small electrical, bargains, silly prices. Harvey Norman, Seconds World. Bring your truck, bring your trailer, bring your money. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Harvey Norman, Seconds World. 2 Sydney locations. Penrith in 103, Parramatta Road, Auburn.
The Snooze Autumn Sale is on now. Save up to 40% off selected bed frames. Plus, take an extra 10% off selected bed frames on already reduced prices. Hurry, sale on now. Exclusions, T's and C's apply.
What a little snooze can do.
Thinking about heading to the Gold Coast these school holidays? Experience more of what the Gold Coast offers for less and get a $100 Love GC card for only $50. Spend your Love GC card at a range of restaurants, accommodation, experiences and attractions in the region. It's a great way to get more out of your Gold Coast holiday. Cards are limited and selling out fast, so secure yours now at lovegccards.com. Then visit lovegcdeals.com to see the range of deals available. T's and C's apply.
At Bunnings Trade, you can load up on landscaping with our huge range of power garden tools. Grab a Makita 18-volt brushless turbo blower kit with 2 5-amp-hour batteries and charger. Huge value at just $548.98. Shop in store or online today. Bunnings Trade. Helping business is our trade.
Sign up with NG Saver and you'll get up to $200 in bill credits. That's $100 credit on gas and $100 on electricity. That's epic value. Even our disclaimers are epic. An average residential customer using 3,900 kilowatt hours per year on a flat rate in the Ausgrid network could pay $1,564, including GST, in the first 12 months of their energy plan. Bills may change depending on usage. Basic plan information documents are available online. With NG, it's possible. Search NG for more.
This is the biggest crane in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's just hoisted a 5-ton beam 40 metres above the city centre. Sounds dramatic, but it's not, because at Pertec we supply the hoses in cranes like this. They're designed and tested to handle all kinds of pressure. No drama. Pertec, drama resistant since 1980.
Shut up! The boys on Triple M!
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
Good afternoon. Nothing better than a Sunday arvo, Brookie Oval, 4 Pines Park, Manly, Melbourne, Battle of Brookvale. The crowd pouring in. I mean, we're still 45 minutes away from kick-off. The hill is just about jam-packed full, and it's slightly overcast, sun breaking through. It's a good day. It's a great day. Changes for this game. Manly 1-17, but Sipley starts. Brown to the bench. Melbourne changes galore. Jerome Hughes is in. He's got a broken hand, hasn't he? He's only missed a week? That's unbelievable. Maybe
tough boy, mate. Tough boy.
He certainly is. So Tyron Wishart goes onto the bench. Grant Anderson goes onto the wing. Warbrick is out, ongoing concussion symptoms. And a kid called Moses Leo will make his first grade debut in the centres for Melbourne. So that game coming up just after 4 o'clock. Triple M rocking the footy. Canterbury, Newcastle. Apparently a big crowd. I've been saying it all weekend. Big crowd coming or going to Homebush for that one. So first Homebush game for Canterbury. Bugger of a time slot in terms of getting a crowd, but it doesn't seem like it's going to bother them. Ream Hot Water and Macca's bring us the footy. Mitsubishi Heavy Industry Air Conditioners Australia Prime Time. Hello, Buzz.
How you going, mate?
I'm going good, Jimmy.
Doing very well.
And why are you in a Cincinnati Bengals jumper? It looks very fetching, Gordy, but I
don't know why, because I do Super Bowl in Brisbane every year, and then you got to wear a jersey, and I wasn't going to wear my Kelsey jersey that I bought at the Super Bowl because I would have felt like a real loser, right? So I didn't don it because...
Well, you've always hated Taylor Swift.
Well, I would have looked like like I just bought it after they started winning, but I bought it before they won their first, but I didn't wear it. And then I got this one, and I didn't mind the colour of it. Black and gold.
It's very slimming.
Yeah.
Do you love NFL, Gordy, do you?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Back in 97 when I first, actually, at the end of 96, Mike Tyson fought Lenny Holyfield. We were in Vegas, but then we went to the Denver Broncos and we met, and there was Shannon Sharp, Steve Atwater, their quarterback, Elway, John Elway was there. And
legend.
Just watching how precise they were and how big. So Wendell Saylor's probably one of the biggest wingers in history. Well, that was pretty much the size of all their fast guys. So
hasn't got a patch on rugby league.
No, listen, it's a totally different game, but I like how precise they got
patch on it,
Buzz, hang on.
Let's do a ball in play argument.
Can I say
you want to stop play when Selwyn Cobbo puts his foot on the touchline, Buzz. You want to call for... By the way, what about you with the still photos of Latrell Mitchell? You knew that was fudging. It might have been a forward pass, but the still photos fudged the truth. And you put them up anyway. You knew what you were doing.
It was the proof that the pass was delivered 4 metres forward.
4.
It was.
4, not 3 in a bit?
Yeah, I thought you were better judge than that, NFL and league.
You're trying to turn it into NFL. Yeah. Stop, start.
I'm not trying to turn it into... Rugby league, ball in play. Yeah. If I watch NFL, I record it and fast forward everything.
I agree, Buzz. I reckon if you landed from Mars right now, if you landed from Mars and you had our game, you had all the games, right? And you hadn't watched any game. Our game's in the top 3 games. Live sport played in the world, without a doubt.
You mentioned boxing. Let me mention, boys, Tim Tszyu has won emphatically over Joey Spencer, a 4th-round KO. You would have loved this, boys, if you saw it, and I implore you, go and find it somewhere on Main Event. They replay it, because he was back to his clinical best. He started slow. He was measured.
Yep.
He worked the other guy out.
It's like a game of chess.
And then
Cat
rounds
and mouse.
3 and 4, he picked him apart. Joey Spencer, Joey's dad threw in the towel, and it was a good decision because Tim was absolutely battering him on the ropes. But Tim Tszyu is back. It's
pulled him apart like a hot chook, Dan.
Pulled
him apart like a hot chook. Hey, Dan, what is this, Buzz? Sitting on the couch, right? Roosters and South, you got to watch it. Even if you don't like the teams, you got to watch it. What a rivalry, right? 100-year-old rivalry. It's not a rivalry. It's the rivalry, said a commentator.
Well, what's
Do
wrong
you
with
agree
that?
with that?
The rivalry? Yeah, but there's a lot of rivalries in rugby league, aren't there? You know, they're like Canterbury and South is a rivalry too.
That's
Good
going to
Friday.
get, by the way, that Good Friday this
It'll
year.
break all records.
That'll get 60 plus.
It'll break all records. I've done my column in the Telegraph on Monday. I've looked at the 10 highest crowds of all time. I think it'll break the all-time record because the Canterbury fans are just on board, and Souths are flying under Wayne Bennett. And, they got 51,000 2013 to this game. A fantastic thing for rugby league.
Was that when the bloke next to you lost his bottle?
No, was it that the year? What year did you play up?
No, it was 15.
15. Was it? 15.
Yeah, but
I had a chat with Adam Reynolds about it today, actually, when he was on air. Look, great occasion. Like, I come from sporting tradition in England of Good Friday being a big day for rugby league, traditional games. St Helens v Wigan landed here in Australia. It was the Bulldogs v Souths. It was the Good Friday tradition was born, and geez, it is so exciting for everybody, for players, for coaches, for fans. It's something different. There's obviously there's something in the air around Easter. Everybody's behaving differently. The school holidays and whatnot.
Jimmy. It's the sugar high.
Well, there is also the sugar high, but from a playing point of view, like what you can get access to dressing rooms. You can see behind. You can get behind the scenes, but you have to earn that feeling of going out and playing in front of big crowds, and that at Good Friday, it's just so special. It really is.
Old chestnut of mine, right? This is where we should use Homebush.
That's
Big
what I was
events.
about to say.
Big event. We're half a dozen times. Why don't we treat Homebush like England treats Wembley? Big events only. Easter, you put Tigers, Parramatta on that. Look, that's going to be great at Combank, but you could get 50 there a lot of years at Homebush. Origin, prelim final if it's relevant, grand final, Bledisloe, Socceroos, Matildas. Make it attractive to go to.
Yeah, but you've got to put a roof on it. You've got to weatherproof it for bigger. You do. We would have had 8 Taylor Swift concerts if they weren't worried about the weather. We got 3 or whatever we got. It's got to be weatherproof. No other stadium in this city can cope with what we're going to get on Good Friday, can cope with Origin, the grand finals of soccer. They've got to spend money on it. Otherwise, the major events will go to Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane. We won't
I
get
agree.
it.
Now, South's trying to get a bit cute. I'll get away from the stadiums in a second because we've got a good game to talk about, and I want to talk to you boys about the crackdown. South's they've been getting cute with their negotiations, Buzz, in that they get an earn to go to Homebush, right? That's why they took the money in 06 and Canterbury did the same, because they get an earn. Clubs need to be incentivised to go to Homebush, right? Everyone understands that. The Sin Bin Sunday blew everyone away. The atmosphere was anyone at that game will tell you they've never experienced an atmosphere like it before or since. South liked that stadium, loved that stadium, said this has got to be our home again. The old football stadium now renovated. But my understanding is, Buzz, that they still want the earn. Their argument is, well, it's all Venues New South Wales. We have a contract with Venues New South Wales. So we think we're entitled. You're not going to improve Homebush, so we want to go to, and we want the earn, which we've signed for, to which the Roosters keep saying, well, if you're going to pay them whatever it is you're paying them, you have to pay us the same.
Well, they were lied to, South. They signed, and so did Canterbury, under the understanding that they were going to get significant improvements to that venue. Not just it becoming a rectangle, but better corporate suites. They'd make more money, you know, with their commercial partners, and none of this has happened. Yeah, I think it's a bit cute what Blake Solly's doing. I think, you know, we can't just sit out there empty. I don't mind your idea, though, of making it a Wembley, just special occasions, half a dozen NRL games a year, etc. I worry about that surface at Alliance. It can't cope with East Sydney FC and the Waratahs, can it? So, which, you know, it's a world-class facility. But what I'm trying to give you an example, it's not big enough for all of Canterbury's games.
Allianz?
No.
No, and what I'm saying is, but if
their fans
the event is big enough,
Canterbury's fans.
Well, they can go to CommBank if it's small enough. If
so
the game is small enough,
going to have? They're going to have 30. The West Tigers. They're going to have Parramatta. They're going to have Canterbury. They got Penrith this year.
Buzz, no one wants to go to Homebush. When Canterbury plays South on Good Friday, you know that's going to get a crowd worthy of Homebush. Tonight might be even worthy of Homebush because it's their first home game and they're talking 30,000 plus. But when they play Dolphins on a Friday 6 p.m. in round 15, you can take that to a smaller venue.
The entire rugby league draw has got to be done more strategic than what it is now. And when you have the Thursday game or the 6 o'clock Friday game, it should be either in New Zealand or it should be in Newcastle or it should be in Canberra where people can knock off work and get to those venues quicker.
Anyway, we've got to take a break because we've got to start to look ahead to this game. And I want to get these boys' opinion on the crackdown. And has it gone over the top or has it been just right? Triple M rocking the footy. Manly, Melbourne on the way. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners bringing us prime time.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy. Triple M Breakfast, Bo, Ryan and Woodsy.
67% of people have one of these but don't use it.
I've actually got one for Maroon. Common sense.
Oh! Mate, I didn't come in here to be insulted by a bloke who I have never seen him in long pants. No, I've never seen him in long pants.
Best Sheds, 25% off all shed sale is on now. T's and C's apply. Triple M Breakfast, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays on Triple M. Whether you're building, fixing or crafting something from scratch, Flexivit Abrasives has got your back. Proudly made right here in Australia, Flexivit's cutting and grinding discs deliver the strength and precision you need to tackle any project, big or small. So if you're a weekend warrior in the shed or a pro on the job site, choose the abrasives trusted by tradies and built to last. Flexivit Abrasives. Tough enough for the pros, right at home in your hands and available at all leading industrial and hardware suppliers.
With NRMA Insurance, you could enjoy our multi-policy discount when you take out 2 or more eligible policies. NRMA Insurance, a help company. Discount applies in tiers based on the number of eligible policies. Maximum tier reached at 9 eligible policies. Visit nrma.com.au/customer-discounts for more info. Discount may be subject to minimum premiums. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance at nrma.com.au.
Gym memberships, club memberships, they all sound so appealing until you see the fees. Well, there's one membership that costs nothing and it saves you money. The Flower Power Trade Membership. If you have a landscaping, gardening or construction business, Flower Power's trade membership unlocks amazing discounts. Your business can save up to 25% on our top quality plants, pots and landscaping supplies. Plus, we can deliver 7 days a week. Apply for your money-saving trade membership at flowerpower.com.au. They're garden people.
Back your business with Energy Australia's dedicated team of energy experts and get a great deal on your business electricity. Find out how at energyaustralia.com.au.
There are 2 Harvey Norman Seconds Worlds in Sydney, Penrith and Auburn, selling fridges, washers, TVs, cooking and small appliances, dryers and freezers, carton damage, superseded factory seconds, run-out models, X-displays, all stock to be sold at silly prices. Harvey Norman, Seconds World, 2 locations, Penrith and 103 Parramatta Road, Auburn. Bring a truck, bring a trailer, bring your money. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Harvey Norman, Seconds World.
Tradies, while you're getting behind the footy, Beacon Trade's getting behind you, helping you light the homes of Australia. Partner up with Beacon Trade at beacontrade.com.au and let's make light work.
Just fix this little bit up here and we're good.
Oh, looks perfect. Thanks.
Great. Need any product while you're here?
No, actually, I was wondering,
Yeah?
what does the Residential Tenancies Act say about pets?
For answers to your legal questions, hear it from someone who knows. Tune in to Lawfully Explained with Amy Dale from the Law Society of New South Wales. Hear it at lawfullyexplained.com.au.
Shut up! The board is on Triple M!
Marine hot water and McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
Yes, indeed. Manly, Melbourne. Melbourne never seem to lose coming off a loss, and Manly are at home. A lot to like about this game, which starts in half an hour's time. Brent Reid on the sideline. Well, of course he's on the sideline. It's a home game for Reedy, for Bob Jane. T-Marts, hello to you.
Hello, Dan. Fantastic day on the northern beaches. A few clouds have rolled in now, but it's been a cracking arvo here. Beautiful conditions for football.
Now, Moses Leo, who is he? What can you tell us about the new Melbourne centre?
He's a great story, Dan. I mean, Moses Leo watched Will Warbrick, who he replaces today, actually, move from Sevens rugby and become a rugby league star, and he thought, well, you know what, I want to give it a go. So last year he reached out to Melbourne through his agent. He was a Sevens star for the New Zealand team. He went to the Paris Games, won, I believe, a bronze medal at the Paris Games. He'd signed a contract to join the Storm in 2026, but he went to New Zealand Rugby's door. He knocked on the door and said, I want to go now. Initially they dug in their heels. They eventually relented, let him go. So he joined the Storm in the off-season. Everyone in Melbourne will tell you he had a great off-season for them, but he hurt his quad during pre-season training. He only made his return last week at the New South Wales Cup. So think about this for a second. This is a guy who hasn't played rugby league since he was a kid. He played New South Wales Cup last week, played well, and this week he's into the NRL playing at 4 Points Park in front of a full house. So it's a great story, Dan. If Will Warbrick's anything to go by, he'll go really well.
I was going to say, the similarities are stark, actually, coming from New Zealand Sevens teams into NRL, and Will Warbrick's had a fair start to his career. All right, beautiful stuff. Good story, Reedy. Thank you very much, and we'll cross back to Reedy shortly as this crowd continues to build up. We've got Gordon Tallis, we've got James Graham, Buzz Rothfield. Fellas, before I get to Buzz, can you reiterate what you said at the top of the show, your thoughts on this so-called crackdown on high tackles and what we've seen so far this weekend? Jimmy?
Yeah, look, I think there's some that we've got right, or the game's got right, some that they got wrong. We were talking about it earlier. You've never been allowed to hit players in the head. Like that is fundamental. But I do feel there's a slight bit of confusion around what is a penalty, what is and what is a sin bin, and what is a week suspension, and what is no charge. I still feel as though it's difficult to know when an incident happens what the punishment is going to be, and which there needs to be a punishment. I don't think anybody's arguing against the punishment, but it's just finding out what the categories are, and then some of the language used around the moderate force. I think that leads to more confusion.
Geordie?
As a rugby league player, it's tough enough. You should have a right to run as hard as you want, and your head's protected. And I watched the Tino, and I'm a Titans man, and he hit Kafusi, and as sad as what it is, and it probably contributed to their loss, but you're not allowed to hit someone in the head, whether you're speeding, Dan.
Yeah.
Whether you're 5k over the limit or 10k over the limit, you're still speeding.
That's
you're
right.
still breaking the law. So I don't know what we want. I think in my era, it was a send-off. I think there was less head contact in my era than what there is in this era.
Gordy, I disliked what I saw last weekend with 4 very, very serious high shots, in my view, that basically went unpunished on the football field and should have been just so common sense sin bins. We have seen, in my view, a correction this week, slightly over the top in my view, but I think it will settle. I just don't think the game can afford the previous week and not doing anything. That's my view.
I think we started the weekend over the top. Thursday night, Hudson Young gets a careless high tackle, grade 1. He gets sin bin, but only gets a fine. Then ridiculous stuff in the Penrith North Queensland game. Both Reece Robson and Isaac Tungor are sin bin. Tungor doesn't even get a charge. It was a mousy little clip. Robson gets a careless grade 1 fine. Yesterday, they're sin bins in any language. Asul Malawi, grade 2. He's going to be suspended. Ray Stone, same thing. Brendan Piakura. I called that game. You knew when Brendan Piakura, when you saw a replay, you knew that had force. He's off, and he's going to be suspended. I always, and it doesn't. I'm not saying I'm right, but easy rule of thumb for me. If you know that player is going to be suspended, you could watch Piakura, you could watch Tino. I didn't see the Stone one because I was getting ready for the next game. You knew those blokes were getting suspended. That's an easy sin bin. If you think it's probably at worst careless grade 1, penalty would be sufficient for me, Jimmy.
The referees can't decide that. Dan.
No, the bunker does though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, mate, but leave that to the judiciary. Right, they just got to get the decisions right and get it as consistent.
But Gordy, you know within one
can.
replay or two, if that, I think most quote-unquote experts and a lot of fans know, that's probably going to get a suspension versus that's penalty and might get a light charge.
Well, really what happens is, Dan, is those incidences are reviewed by the bunker, like the Tino one. That was reiterated to the referee about, 60 seconds post-incident? That resulted in Tino being removed from the field. But what sometimes happens is there's light contact with the head, sometimes unavoidable, and the player stays down, and this is when the bunkers start to look.
Yes.
And
which you hate.
Which I'm really not a fan of. And some incidences where they stay down, and for me, it's clear that they're going to be okay.
But that's my point. The bunker should be able to pick up things like that. And it's the 2 C's, it's common sense, which ain't that hard when we're looking, as Dan said, at these replays, and it's consistency.
Well, that's what we all strive for, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And look, there will always be human error. But the people inside that bunker, with all the equipment, with the size of the screens, with the technology, it's better than we got at home. They should get it right better than they're doing at the moment.
So Beau Fermor yesterday was hit with a careless grade 1, which is a fine, and not sin bin. I have a sneaking suspicion they went overboard Thursday, Friday. I reckon they realigned a little and got it right yesterday. Now, it's only one day.
So what are you suggesting, that Andrew Abdo rang Graham Annesley, who then rang the ref's boss, who then contacted the referees?
Well, it's one decision.
You're saying that. Pretty heavy thing to say that they've changed refereeing in the middle of a round.
I think if you keep making mistakes, you can make mistakes on you can change on the run if you know you've gone over the top.
Up about all year, lack of consistency, and you're saying they've gone down really heavy these first few days. Then someone's made a phone call and told them to back halfway through a round.
I'm suggesting
you can't do that.
They are not being as hard. They weren't as harsh yesterday, and I'm only referring to one singular decision.
They should be as harsh. If they've gone harsh game 1 on Thursday, they should be harsh and fair on all clubs.
I'm with you, but because what it leads to is whataboutery. We all go, well, what about that? What about that? What about that incident?
We can't have Isaac Tungor incidents go to the sin bin. It'll be ridiculous. Imagine if the rest of the weekend was filled. He barely touched the bloke, and he got sent to the sin bin.
Who was in the bunker then?
You're suggesting I'm thinking that something underwater's happened. Can referees or Graham Annesley or Andrew Abdo not see something is probably being done a little too harshly on the run? I don't think it's as sacrosanct as you think to change something mid-round. They're getting bad publicity, and they've decided, well, okay, we just need to pull it back a step.
That was Jared Sutton in the bunker.
Yeah, but I'm not going after individuals, Bus.
No, well, I'm just trying to.
Well, did he do the Titans game? Did he do the Titans game?
No, I'll have to open
Whoever
my
did
program.
the Titans game, whoever was the bunker.
Titans game, you're bagging Adam G.
I'm rapping Adam G because he nailed it.
Right.
What is it about? Is it about
Adam G
time?
missed your
Tell you what
Latrell
I'm going to
forward
do.
pass,
I'm
by
going
the
to
way.
print you. I'm going to print you
No, don't
a
print
match
me,
officials list each week. So when you rip and tear and
What are
claim
you
that
dark-
they're changing the rules midstream.
Yeah, Dan.
Buzz, you're dark because they won't send you an email anymore on a Tuesday with the referees you've made.
I want transparency.
It's go to the NRL team
We
list.
have
They
a
put 'em
job
up. You have to
to-
go game by game. Is it that hard?
Well,
I know. I like the email too. It made my life easier as well. Triple M rocking the footy. 20 minutes to go until kickoff. Ream Hot Water and for Macca's. We're back to 2 o'clock games next week. Thank Christ.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
We've been paying your M's, yeah. Free tolls for a year. The M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, M7, and the
Triple M's Pay Your M's.
We just want to know, what tolls do you free tolls for an entire year?
The M5 and the M4.
M2 and M7 tolls every day.
Congratulations, you've won tolls for a year. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys.
The Triple M toll booth opens with Triple M breakfast and right across the day tomorrow.
You okay if these are all in the same bag?
Yeah, that's fine. Fine, thanks.
And are you paying cash or card?
Card, please.
And my partner and I were together for 3 years. Was our relationship de facto?
What?
For answers to your legal questions, hear it from someone who knows. Tune in to Lawfully Explained with Amy Dale from the Law Society of New South Wales. Hear it at lawfullyexplained.com.au.
Hop to it this Easter with Kmart's low prices. Our new catalogue is chock full of value and fun for everyone. Shop decor, dining and more, plus Easter egg hunt essentials from just $1. Kmart, low prices for life.
With NRMA Insurance, you could enjoy our multi-policy discount when you take out 2 or more eligible policies. NRMA Insurance, a help company. Discount applies in tiers based on the number of eligible policies. Maximum tier reached at 9 eligible policies. Visit nrma.com.au/customer-discounts for more info. Discount may be subject to minimum premiums. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance at nrma.com.au.
I've been off the tools for a while. You think you're bulletproof until you get injured and can't work. Thankfully, I got real income protection insurance before I hurt myself. It covers 70% of my income. My premiums are tax deductible and I didn't need a medical or blood test to apply. Search Real Income Protection Insurance and request a quote now.
General information only. Cover depends on your circumstances. Read the PDS and TMD at realinsurance.com.au. Issued by Hanover Life Re of Australasia.
The Snooze Autumn Sale is on now. Save up to 50% off selected mattresses. Plus, take an extra 10% off selected mattresses on already reduced prices. Hurry, sale on now. Exclusions, T's and C's apply.
What a little snooze can do.
At Bunnings, it is very important to plan ahead for an Easter project because that is the time when people are getting out there and getting all those outdoor jobs done. And with our lowest prices, you can make things go a long way.
Seasol 2-litre lawn fertiliser twin pack, only $26. Cyclone 3-prong lawn aerator, $79.98. Saxon 150-litre garden bag 3-pack, just $6.97. Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%. Conditions apply. See website for details. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Do you have a big piece of junk you wish would disappear?
Would you happily pay to make it go away?
How does $149 sound?
Did you just promise that we would haul away any first item for just $149?
Yes. Wasn't that the plan?
Well, it is now.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Let the party begin.
1-800-GOT-JUNK will haul away the first thing you point at. Anything two strong people can carry.
For just $149.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.au.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M.
For
for Ream Hot Water and McDonald's. Triple M rocks free.
Welcome back. Apologies for taking the Lord's name in vain. I hate it when I do that. But anyway, that's your effect on me, Buzz. Triple M rocking the footy for Ream Hot Water and for Matt.
Get under your skin, can't he? Pretty easy.
Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia. As I said, we're back at 2 p.m. next week. Melbourne Warriors is our first game. So basically, this is the last of our 4 p.m.s until Origin, and we have the reduced schedule. So next week, we begin our 2 p.m. run for most of the rest of the season. Right, Gordy and Jimmy in particular, this is a good game. And it's hard to predict because we've got some players missing. No Tom Trbojevic. But I'll tell you, the inclusion of Jerome Hughes is huge.
Yeah, and obviously Melbourne coming off that disappointing loss to the Dragons last week. You know, Coach Bellamy would be so disappointed with how that game worked out, and Jerome Hughes just coming in exactly what the Melbourne Storm side need. Going to be a great game. There's a lot of history between these two clubs. You just can't avoid that, although none of them would have played in the Battle of Brookvale. I can't imagine. It is still something that brings out the best in these two teams when they go up against each other. And obviously with Manly's very acceptable start to the season, with all the news going on in the background, it's going to be a great game, Dan.
Melbourne.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well,
Melbourne.
We've got 10 minutes.
Well, mate, they don't
come
lose
on, we've
two
got
in a
10
row,
minutes
do
to
they, Dan?
preview this.
Do they?
What's that?
Do they lose 2 in a row, Melbourne?
It's something like either 13 in a row or 15 in a row, coming off a loss they've won. So, yes, you make a very good point. You'd have to say this, though, wouldn't you, that their record, Manly, since the last few times Tom has missed, is okay. 5 wins, 4 losses. And it's probably because Lehigh Hopewadi's, you would have to say, gents, the best fullback they've had as a replacement for Tom.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Dan. It's not the same Manly without Tom as what it once was, I think, and that is purely down to the emergence of Hopewadi, who obviously got a strong family history there, but his level of performance is exceptional. So this team isn't as reliable on Trbojevic, or Tom Trbojevic, that is, as they once were, but still, he's a huge out.
Buzz, are you hearing anything out of Manly? Just the week, they handled Melbourne Parramatta comfortably. They were never in danger. That was the big Daly Cherry Evans game. He wasn't booed, but if there was a smattering, it was very, very small. So he got a very warm reception. Are you hearing anything out there this week? It's been very quiet out at Brookvale.
Yeah, look, I think after the Cherry Evans press conference and the smear campaign press conference, I think things have settled down, and the CEO, Tony Mestroff, was supposed to have a couple of media appearances, which he pulled out of, and I think they're now settling down to the business of winning football games. I said last week they're a 12-point better side at home. At Brookie, they'll want to be today against this Melbourne side. It's not a worse week to play Melbourne than when they're on the rebound after a really poor loss to St George last week. No, Manly, even without Turbo at the back, you're right what you said about Hopewadi there. They've got such quality now to cover that spot. And all eyes on DCE, though. He's put pressure on himself each and every week with that decision. The moment he has a poor game, which he doesn't really have, there'll be talk that, has this got to him or whatever. So, and he's up against Hughes today unexpectedly, so that'll be terrific scrum-based battle.
I know the ladder says Brisbane's on top, and it might be Canterbury by the end of the night. Melbourne the best team in the comp right now?
On paper. I believe they are on paper. It's I think it's difficult to argue against that. We look at their achievements last year in making that grand final. They actually strengthened that team when you consider, no Nelson or Sof Solomona in that grand final either. They bring in Stefano into their mix. So I think on paper they improve. And, well, with the way Penrith are going, I think if you beat Melbourne, you probably win the comp.
Battle of Brookie, Gordy. Does it get you excited? Like battle. I mean, I know that battle was years ago now, but
I just watched on Fox and KO all the games they played when Glenn Stewart just sort of waits enough, has a look back. He and Blair, the great shot. Georgie, I think it was Georgie Tafur on like Munster, just some of the battles, Melbourne getting into the snake in that grand final, then Melbourne winning by 40 when Cameron Smith didn't play. The
Manly winning by 40. Well, there was, remember, even years later, Dylan Walker and Curtis Scott, didn't they punch each other?
Yeah, they did, yeah. Yes. Yeah, definitely history. I tell you, Gordy, I'm really looking forward to seeing today, it's Jake Trbojevic.
Yep.
Without his brother Tom there. I'll tell you why. He's the captain of the New South Wales State of Origin side, who are reigning champions. But he didn't play a lot of time last year in that series.
No.
And I'm just wondering, does he's 4 or 5 weeks till they sit down and pick the side? Has Jake got more to prove to keep his New South Wales jumper despite being a winning captain, or do you think he just walks straight in?
I think he walks straight in with no Murray from South.
Mm.
I think if he was playing and he's on great form, the Cronulla boy. Look, I would love to play with Jake. I just think he's one of those guys that it's a bit of glue. He would hold you accountable. He turns up on every assignment. He mightn't be the star that his brother is, but he'll never let you down.
I think it'd be one of them if they didn't pick him and they lose, he'd be in there for game 2.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because, you guys know what a great player Isaiah Yeo is. He captained Australia,
yeah.
He won the Golden Boot, and, he's a fantastic leader. And I just, it was surprising the role Jake played last year. But look, we'll see him at home today, and I'm sure he'll play strong against Storm.
That's a really good point. Right. But look, I thought that Isaiah Yeo played front row last year and did an outstanding job in the middle.
You're tipping Melbourne, Gordy. Who are you tipping, Jimmy?
Melbourne as well.
And what about you, Buzz?
Manly at home.
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back from this contest on the other side of this. Good job by you, Buzz. Triple M rocking the footy for Room Hot Water and for Macca's.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy. Triple M breakfast. Bo, Ryan and Woods.
Glenn from Penrith.
40 years ago, I was sitting at home with my wife-to-be. A knock comes to the door. There were 6 girls there. These were all the girls that I was seeing at the time.
What are they? Are you dating the dwarfs or something like that? You're the equivalent of Snow White. He's actually got 6 grumpies.
Best Sheds 25% off all shed sale is on now. T's and C's apply. Triple M breakfast 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays on Triple M.
Do you have a big piece of junk you wish would disappear?
Would you happily pay to make it go away?
How does $149 sound?
Did you just promise that we would haul away any first item for just $149?
Yes. Wasn't that the plan?
Well, it is now.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Let the party begin.
1-800-GOT-JUNK will haul away the first thing you point at. Anything 2 strong people can carry.
For just $149.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1800gotjunk.com.au.
How do you feel? I feel like a Tooheys. The game's on, the team's ready, and it's time for a Tooheys. Whether you're cheering on your team at the stadium or watching with mates at the pub, nothing beats the legendary refreshment of Tooheys. Proudly born right here in New South Wales, Tooheys is all about the spirit of bringing people together, whether you're celebrating an epic win or commiserating a crushing defeat. So next time you're at the pub or bottle shop, grab a Tooheys and raise a glass to the team that's bringing you together. Drink responsibly.
Hey, big man, workwear just got better.
That's right, champion. Not only can you grab Traders 308 gear,
now you can get King G and Hard Yakka workwear too.
At Lowe's, check out Hard Yakka's new X-Range pants, where innovation meets style.
Crafted with lightweight Kadura fabric, these pants redefine performance workwear.
With multiple pockets, a water-repellent finish, and a unique design, they're perfect for industrial sites, gym sessions, or your daily hustle.
So check out the huge workwear range available now
at Lowe's.
At Bunnings Trade, you can load up on landscaping. Grab an AEG 18-volt brushless line trimmer kit with a 4-amp-hour battery and charge at just $399. Plus, get a bonus 5-amp-hour battery or edger attachment via redemption by March 31st. See website for details.
Gym memberships, club memberships, they all sound so appealing until you see the fees. Well, there's one membership that costs nothing and it saves you money. the Flower Power Trade Membership. If you have a landscaping, gardening or construction business, Flower Power's trade membership unlocks amazing discounts. Your business can save up to 25% on our top quality plants, pots and landscaping supplies. Plus, we can deliver 7 days a week. Apply for your money-saving trade membership at flowerpower.com.au. They're garden people.
The Snooze Autumn Sale is on now. Save up to 40% off selected bed frames. Plus, take an extra 10% off selected bed frames on already reduced prices. Hurry, sale on now. Exclusions, T's and C's apply.
What a little snooze can do.
Want to grow your business and get paid faster? Let me sum it up for you. SumUp is a world-leading payment solutions provider with over 4 million customers worldwide. Cutting-edge payment software that supports over 1 billion transactions a year. From portable FPOS to countertop POS solutions, SumUp's hardware supports every stage of your business journey. Take payments anywhere, secure, seamless, and with no contracts or monthly fees. Think outside the square. Choose SumUp. Purchase now at JB Hi-Fi, Harvey Norman and Bing Lee.
Marine hot water in McDonald's.
What an atmosphere!
Triple M rocks footy.
It's what rugby league's all about.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M! The hill is heaving. It is overcast, but it's a lovely Sunday afternoon. It's not going to be serene, though. It's Manly Melbourne, and it comes up right after this.
Are you ready to vote? The federal election has been announced. If you've recently changed your name or address, turned 18 or become an Australian citizen, you must update your enrolment details or enrol to vote before 8 p.m. on Monday 7th of April. Head to aec.gov.au or pick up an enrolment form at any AEC office and return it to the AEC before 8 p.m. on Monday 7th of April. Your vote will help shape Australia. Authorised by the Electoral Commissioner, Canberra.
3 words. They say everything that needs to be said. Battle of Brookvale. Officially, it refers to one wild night back in 2011, but ever since, any match between Manly and Melbourne here at Brookvale has been given that tag because while the names may have changed, the feeling has endured. A rivalry which really took off during their grand final years of 07 and 08. Then reached that boiling point in 2011, has continued to be a highlight of the season. Manly against Melbourne, that's one thing. Manly against Melbourne at Brookie is another. You throw in a warm Sunday afternoon and we have a recipe for an absolute beauty. This is the Sunday match of the day right here on Triple M. And I tell you what, it seems like we're here at Brookvale every Sunday, and that's okay by me, Jimmy Graham at Gordon Tallis, because the crowd is packed in like sardines right now. Not sure it's a sellout or not. There can't be many tickets, if any, left for this contest. And this, Jimmy, has got to lift Manly, and there's always a different atmosphere for this game. There's an edge to the crowd. I mean, the Brookie fans are pretty hostile anyway, but this has got something. You would have loved playing in front of this crowd as a home player.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon football doesn't get much better than here at Brookvale Oval. Dan, what about your intro with a little bit of Marilyn Manson in the background? Got me all fired up on a Sunday afternoon. I think this is going to be a great contest between these two teams. Obviously, Manly, they're over the news. They're looking forward to the season ahead. They got that out the way, and hey, is it over and done with? I don't think so. But Melbourne coming off that strange performance against the Dragons, couldn't quite figure out what actually happened on that day. We do know that they lost, but a response is now next to come.
Gordon Tallis, this would have been bread and butter for you, a game like this. We'll go to Gordy in a moment. By the way, news out of Newcastle. Tim Zhu wins in a 4th round knockout, an impressive knockout of Joey Spencer. So for those that have been out and about today and missed the fight, Tim Zhu is back to his clinical best with a comprehensive win. So his career very much back on track. This is game 1 or 2 here on Triple M Footy. Manly Melbourne in moments. Canterbury Newcastle from Accor Stadium. The Sunday night clash. But right now we are focused on this contest. The Manly Seagulls coming off a pretty easy win over Melbourne here, Parramatta here last week, 26 points to 12. And the Melbourne Storm coming off a rare loss their first of the season in the wet at Cogra to St George Illawarra. Still very much the premiership favourites, but now facing the possibility of losing 2 in a row. And we're just looking at the monitor in front of us, and I can sum in, if James Graham liked that intro, he's getting aroused by the images here of just some brutal shots from the Manly-Melbourne games in times gone by. And
you know the Battle of Brookvale, like that went worldwide. Like, I know for maybe all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
It went worldwide.
A lot of faux outrage. I remember the day after on Talkback Radio, a lot of faux outrage. I went to kids' sport, all the parents were talking about was how disgusting it was. Yep, and we've replayed it for 15 years since. Here comes the Melbourne Storm to a typical Brookvale reception. Ryan Pappenhausen, the fullback, Grant Anderson and Xavier Coates on the wing. Jack Howarth and man on debut, Moses Leo in the centres, Cam Munster and Jerome Hughes, the halves. Hughes back even with a broken hand. Stefano Utoi Kamanu and Josh King, the front rowers, Harry Grant, the hooker, and the now familiar back row, Glor, Katoa and Liero. The bench, Tyron Wishart in jersey 7, Bronson Garlick, Alec McDonald and Tui Kamakamisa. Here come the Seagulls. The high Hupawadi, the fullback. Jason Saab and Clayton Faulalo on the wing. Tolu Kola, Ruben Garrick the centres. Luke Brooks, Daly Cherry Evans the halves. Siwa Taukayaho and Toff Sipley the front row with Jazz Tavanga, the number 9. Amole, Olakawatu, Ben Trebojevic, Jake Trebojevic the back row. The bench, Brown, Simpkin, Waddell and Ethan Bullimore. So we are moments away here, and a big breath from Daly Cherry Evans. Even in game 334, he looks nervy for events like this. Manly versus Melbourne. A lot of inexperience out there. Clayton Faulalo, his 6th first-grade game. Moses Leo, his first grade game. Lehigh Hopewadi, he's been so good in first grade, but still just his 19th game in the top grade. So here we go. Melbourne to kick off. Manly running to the northern end. Sunday match of the day underway here on Triple M, and it's Manly who will bring it back here, and it's Siwa Taukayaho, and he's driven back here by 3 defenders, and he'll be made to play it here. That was good, strong defence from Melbourne, led by Utoi Kamanu, and going nowhere is Sipley on tackle 2, pinned on the 10-metre line. Tavanga, the dummy half, feeding it on to Jake Trebojevic on the books, giving it on now, Kola, and he caught the high line penalty. That's a penalty, crackdown or not. Just a high tackle. That should be the end of that. But that's a shame for Melbourne, because they were challenging Manly and forced them into a spread. And geez, that replay shows not much there from the centre in Grant Anderson. He's on the wing now, but penalty nonetheless.
Yeah, it's been a feature of the Manly Seagulls under Anthony Seibold, that yardage shift, and they needed it there because Melbourne Storm working very hard from marker, very compressed defensive line. It sort of forced a Manly hand into one of their feature plays. Got themselves a penalty, but not the best kick for Manly.
Jimmy Graham and Gordon Tallis here for Sibo Super. Ben Trebojevic, he's plenty of room up here. But Ben Trebojevic eases up over halfway and gets a nice round of applause. Gee, Harry Grant fell into that tackle awkwardly, but he gets up. Leg looked bent there momentarily, but just an optical illusion. On the next, Olakawatu working it downfield here. 3 defenders there dragging him back. But Manly here inching closer on tackle 2. Short side play down the right. Tavanga to Cherry Evans, and he runs and he gets past Munster, but not past the next line of defence. The pass, though, is neat. And Manly now make it beyond the 20-metre line. This is impressive off the back of the penalty with Garrick to play it for Tavanga. Slow play the ball. Thrown now to the open left to Taukayaho. On to Brooks, running the angle. Turning it in for Ben Trebojevic and chopped down centre field. Last tackle, Manly. Rolling here. Comes to Taukayaho with a stab kick, which is knocked down by Pappenhausen and then booted away over the dead ball line. But it doesn't matter because Melbourne are offside. The man who did boot it away was in front of the kicker. And Melbourne there looking a little brittle in attack at defence at times. Manly with a chance here, no score.
Yes, Siwa Taukayaho with a little grubber kick there. Accidental offside. Manly look like they're going to take the 2 down.
So they're going to take the kick here with Cherry Evans to throw this one over, or Garrick rather to throw this over. He'll be taking the shots at goal as we...
Just looking back on the replay here, did Munster have a little grab at the hair of... No, it's the back of the neck of Olakau'atu. Then Olakau'atu grabs the jersey. Interesting battle over on that side of the field between Olakau'atu and Cameron Munster.
Well, Olakau'atu's got his hair like a sumo wrestler and a nice bun. So hard to get at. Maybe he was a little worried about people like Munster. So the chance start. Reedy on the other side of this as Garrick to put this into the Bob Fulton stand. He's got plenty of points under his belt this year, Ruben Garrick, and he can add 2 more because he drills it from in front. So the first point, penalty goal. Manly 2, Melbourne 0. Triple M rocking Sunday footy for McDonald's.
Get safety and savings at Bob Jane T-Marts. They've got tyres from just $79. Plus, buy 4 selected BF Goodrich or Michelin tyres and receive a free e-gift card worth up to $200 at Bob Jane T-Marts. They'll look after you. T's and C's apply.
Dan, you mentioned that early spread by Manly off the kick. I think it was the third tackle that went straight at Moses Leo. So I think we're going to see a lot of that today. Manly go looking for Leo. They're going to test him out. He stood up on that occasion, but he's in for a searching afternoon, the rugby convert.
Yeah, can't blame him. What did you say, Reddy? First game of rugby league in how long or ever?
Well, he played New South Wales Cup, Dan, so he's had one game.
Yeah, so...
one game in New South Wales Cup since he was a kid. He played a bit of rugby league as a kid, I believe.
Wow, okay. So now it's Toff Sipley. Second play here for Manly off the kick-off with Jake Trbojevic following Sipley. A run up the centre. The tackle made by Katoa as now Brooks gets it, turning it in. Ben Trbojevic, seen plenty of it early, Ben Trbojevic. That's his third run on the Choice Hotel stats as he felled, and then Hughes had a bit of a niggle in that tackle. Falalo, the winger for Manly, works it up on the next play. That'll get him to tackle 5. They are just over the 40, so no 40-20 potential, but Cherry Evans booting it long. Straight down the throat, though, of Xavier Coates. No problem for the Melbourne winger. Then he's squashed in the tackle. Jake Trbojevic leading the way. Toff Slippery there as well. Manly 2, Melbourne 0. Triple M Sunday footy. Howarth gets better by the week, it seems. This young Melbourne centre works up the left edge. Stopped on the hillside of the ground as now Blore goes one out on play 3. He's collected here by Tavanga and also Sipley. Play back to Grant. Grant gives it to Pappenhausen. Links up now with Hughes. Beautiful long pass out to the right wing where Moses Leo takes it and then is wrestled to the ground right on the logo, halfway line. Play back now to the number 4 for the Melbourne Storm, Anderson, who turns it in, and it comes in now to Katoa. And he'll play it 43 metres out. Pretty good set for Melbourne. High kick from Jerome Hughes coming down inside the 10. No problem, Lehigh Hopewadi catching it. But a lovely line of Melbourne defence there. So Melbourne first set under their belt. 5:40 gone. Manly 2, Melbourne 0 as the Seagulls work it out through Saab.
Yeah, Dan, you mentioned before about the impact of Ben Trbojevic in this team. I think they're moving the ball to their left-hand side to... Yes, get up the inexperienced Leo, but also Jerome Hughes returning from that broken hand injury. It was only a week out of 1 week of football that he missed. Arguably rushed back in. He'll get plenty of traffic this afternoon.
Okay, Jake Trbojevic out to Luke Brooks. A little double pump, then he gets it on to Colo. Round it up. Leo, good tackle. So they're testing him. He's standing up at the moment. A man on debut. Cherry Evans booting it long from inside the 40, but He's gone down the middle, and it's a good kick, and it bounces over the head of Pappenhausen. He retrieves it on his try line. Now he runs sideways left, draws in 2. Oh, almost got through Garrick. If he got past Ruben, he was off. So Pappenhausen looking dangerous there. Now Howarth with a good purposeful run out of dummy half. Runs 15 metres. 2-0 Manly. Here's Coates. They're good at this, Melbourne. Underrated part of their game. These runs from the back. They're only 10 short of halfway as Liero gets it. Catching and passing to the former Tiger, Ruzo Kamanu. And he's knocked over just shy of halfway. It's a pretty dry surface here at Brookie as it comes from Hughes to the left of Munster. Short pass to Bloor, but he had no one to give it to. He held it out in front of him, but he was so impressed with his own work to through the hand, he threw it anyway, and Manly came up with it. What a silly error. Manly have got it near halfway.
Yeah, just no support there. I don't know where the centre and winger were at that moment in time, but just... Yeah. Melbourne with an error that just gives Manly a real good opportunity here to launch some attack.
We've got a little tech issue with Gordy, so he's not doing what other commentators do and they don't say anything for the first 5 minutes of the game. I can see him, he wants to talk, but now comes across here, left to right. Cherry Evans away to Jake Trbojevic. 38 metres out Manly. Comes now to Cherry Evans. High kick. And it's coming down here right on the 10-metre line where Xavier Coates is running away from Olakau'atu after the neat catch, and he brings him back to the 20. Manly 2, Melbourne 0. No fire in this game yet. It's just a good end-to-end contest with the hit-up now from Anderson. And Anderson is playing at 22 short of halfway. Now it comes across here to the right. Oh, beautiful pass there, Katoa, as he's falling in the tackle. Back to Hughes. Hughes getting him onto Leo, and Leo, I think, worried he ran behind his own player there and just went to the ground. And he'll play it here, 18 short of halfway. Oh, Grant zips away from the would-be markers and makes a good 15 metres. And they're almost up to halfway where Pappenhausen, he goes left, away now to Liero. Liero to Munster. Munster turns it in, away to Howarth, who cuts back infield and he stopped 45 metres out. Now it's coming here to Munster, high kick, and it's coming down about 10 away. Hopewadi, great chase, but Hopewadi, he bites on his mouth guard, as Gordy would say, takes that one even with a big second rower, Sean Ball all over him. Now Manly spread it inside their own 10 as it comes out to Brooks, and Brooks has taken around the ankles. 2-0 Sea Eagles as it comes here to Kohler trying to run out of dummy half but going nowhere. Cherry Evans zips down the left side, gets it to first receiver, throws it to Fa'alaulu in his 6th game, and he's claimed. And he'll be made to play it with Hughes making a good tackle. Takeaho running down the left edge, one out and well claimed. Manly deep inside their 40 here. Comes to Cherry Evans. Defence rushes up King and Utoi Kamanu, so Cherry Evans has to pass. He finds Brooks. Little chip kick. It goes straight to Pappenhausen, and he almost parts the seas like Blacklock in 99 as he got past the defender, but he didn't quite part the seas because there waiting at backstop was Big Hamole Olakau'atu, and he smashed the Melbourne fullback, and now Olakau'atu suplexes Munster to the ground on halfway. Now there's a little bit of feeling. King to the right to Utoi Kamanu, runs over defender. Lovely flick past to Hughes, and Hughes grabbed onto by Ben Trbojevic, who then gives away a blatant 6 again. Melbourne 35 out with a fresh set as King goes down the middle. Melbourne now their first chance with King to play at 22 out. Grant picks up, goes long left. Liero, Munster double pump, then on the ball. Well-read Cherry Evans and Garrick over the top. 12 in from the left touchline, 12 from the try line. Comes to the open right, Munster, Liero, short ball, King. Beautiful read, Ben Trbojevic, and King captured centre field. But Melbourne only midway through this set here, 2-0 down. Well, Grant had Utoi Kamanu run past him, so Grant has to go himself, and he almost fights his way through. Now gets a late offload. Utoi Kamanu to Munster, cuts out 3, past the Coates, Coates for the line, and he stopped just short. Outrageous pass from Munster. Manly holding on. 11 minutes gone. Munster, short pass. Utoi Kamanu goes through and scores. You can't give Melbourne that many chances. They'll eventually find their way over, and they've done it with an unlikely first try scorer, Stefano Utoi Kamanu. He's over next to the post, 4-2 Melbourne.
Yeah, Dan, the ball was just in play for so long there, and Manly just found themselves just hanging in. It was a great bit of kick pressure from Josh King that forced Daly Cherry Evans to run. He found Luke Brooks. Luke Brooks dinked it over the top and on a speeding Ryan Pappenhausen, which gave the Storm some good field position, a late 6 again, and just fatigue here. Melbourne throwing plenty of questions, plenty of strong carries at this Manly defensive line, and Stefano Utoi Kamanu, it's a pretty easy try, all things considered, but the work was done in the build-up to that.
So Utoi Kamanu has scored his 12th first-grade try, first as a Melbourne Storm player on the Choice Hotel stats. And Melbourne, geez, that game, that went a long time without a break. You knew something had to crack shortly. Melbourne throw so many questions at their opposition. Manly did well, actually, to hold on as long as they did, didn't they? And eventually Munster's
so good at this. We witnessed him do this in round 1 against Parramatta Eels, just taking a forward to the line. Single forward run, all by himself. Munster poses such a run threat.
So Pappenhausen here going through his usual motion, even though it is bang in front. No need for the Pertec kick predicted. Drills it. Reedy on the other side of this. Melbourne silence the crowd. 6-2. Triple M rocking the footy for Ream Hot Water.
Geez, they're working hard out there. You know who else is working hard? Cbus Super. Securing you the retirement you've earned. Cbus Super. Making hard work pay off. Read the PDS and TMD to decide if Cbus is right for you.
Speaking with a few Melbourne types before this game, one thing they were really concerned about was the start, because when they've lost here in the past, they've generally been blown away by Manly in the opening 20 minutes or so. Well, they've nailed the start today. They're up early, 12 minutes down, they're up 6-2. And I've done a bit more research on Moses Leo. He did play rugby league in high school, so last week was his first game, I would say, in over a decade. He's now 27, so it's been a while between drinks.
Good stuff, Reedy. Oh, kick's gone out on the full. Manly have put it out on the full. Too deep from Garrick. Melbourne penalty halfway. Oh, that is concerning for the Seagulls.
Am I right in thinking Garrick has a little bit of a habit of flirting with the in-goal with his kickoffs?
Often says to the dead ball line, may we have this dance, please?
Yeah, but not what you want to do against the Melbourne Storm. You concede points to get the ball has been in play for a significant amount of time, and Melbourne looking to go back-to-back on the scoreboard here.
So, inside the 30, closer to the 20. As Howarth takes the tap, on for Blore, running down the hillside on the left as they go to the southern end, the Pittwater Road end. Tackle made there by Sipley as it opens up for the right here. Liero to the try scorer Utoi Kamanu. 4 need to get involved to bring the big fella down. They do that in front of the right upright. Slow play the ball for Grant. Little shimmy left, goes right. As it comes away to Cartella, and he almost slipped the pass. That would have been a try, but he couldn't. Playing it now for Grant. Throws the long left to Liero. Keeps it going to Hughes. Hughes to Munster. Dummies! Fools on Kawatsu. Goes for the line and scores! Oh my goodness, Cam Munster has started today like he's King Willie Lewis. 2 tries. He scores one, he orchestrates the other. Oh, that was beautiful. 10 points to 2. Melbourne, back to back.
Yeah, Dan, I mentioned the run threat of Cameron Munster in the build-up to the Utoi Kamanu try, and this is what it is all about. Out the back of some shape, Olakawatu fades out. Cameron Munster spots that. That's his signal to move off the left foot, but he's still got plenty of work to do after he beats Stefano Utoi Kamanu. Let's have another look at this on the replay. Jake Trbojevic doing his best in cover defence to fill that space. But Cameron Munster, what a player. That is sensational. And Manly pay the price for kicking that ball out down the full. They're clinging on here, the Manly Seagulls.
Wow. Manly had the best of it for the first few minutes. They got a penalty goal out of it, but Melbourne, bang, bang. 15 gone. And Munster gets his first for the year, much like Utoi Kamanu a few moments earlier. And the dummy was sumptuous from Munster. They just did Olakawatu in cold. Oh, they've got so many weapons. All Jerome Hughes did was catch and pass. Pappenhausen had no part in that try, but he's looked dangerous. Harry Grant out of dummy half. Kick is good. How did this team lose last week, Melbourne? 12 points to 2. Melbourne over Manly. Triple M rocking the footy.
The new Hot Honey range has dropped at Macca's for a limited time, featuring the Hot Honey McCrispy, the Hot Honey McSpicy, and Hot Honey dipping sauce for Chicken McNuggets. Ready for game-changing flavour?
Well, I said Melbourne to get their start right. They have absolutely nailed it. And that man, Cameron Munster, we saw one genius on Friday night in the shape of Latrell Mitchell. We've just seen another one in action. Cameron Munster, the dancing feet. Manly had no answer. The Stormer on fire, boys.
And they play such an attractive brand of... Not only do they bludgeon you, but they play... It's only 12-2, but they play so pretty. They score in so many different ways. So now Josh King... Oh, he's rocked on the tackle here as he caught one. Looked like one of the big Manly boys there made a huge tackle. Oh, my goodness, a hospital pass bounces here. Comes away to Leo. Leo gets it onto Anderson, flies down the right touchline. This is all off a horrific pass. Anderson over halfway. He's upended by Hopewadi in a desperate tackle, in a try-saving tackle. and now eventually Tavanga finishes it off. But Melbourne, really from the ashes of that pass, are on the attack again. High shot close to on Munster. Olakau'atu there, went upstairs, given the all clear, 3 gone. Played back now to Grant. Grant's going to run out of dummy half, and he made a beeline for Jake Jabojevic and Cherry Evans, and they just did enough to pair to make the tackle. Melbourne now, 15 out, left side, comes to the open right to Munster. A little gallop, now onto Hughes. Then the floating pass. It's another Melbourne try as Anderson strolls over. This is a statement, a Melbourne Storm statement. They are quietening. They have silenced this Brookvale crowd, and this time it's Jerome Hughes that takes centre stage.
Yeah, well, the Storm have come back up to Sydney really motivated after their embarrassing defeat last week in wet conditions at Cogra against the Dragons. But they've capitalised off a couple of kick-off mistakes from this Manly team. It was Kartoa who offloaded a bit of a bounce pass. They set sail down this right-hand side, and this peach of a pass from Jerome Hughes. Munster into the line again. They're expecting the run. He flicks it out the back, and then Hughes has got options: short, out the back, or over the top. He goes with the latter. It's a beautifully executed ball there to Grant Anderson. He has no troubles there. There's no attention on him. He just grabs the football, plants it over the line, and wow, Melbourne Storm, after a really even contest for the opening 10 minutes down, ball in play, both teams looking good. Just which one was going to crack first? It was Manly, and they compound a couple of errors, go back to back with some errors, and Manly, geez, Melbourne haven't had the ball for the last, 4 or 5 minutes. They've had a
kick out on the. Oh, here's the kick at goal from Pappenhausen. Pertek kick predictor 60%. Got it. 18 points to 2. Come back in a moment, Jimmy, but we're going to take another one of these breaks. Triple M rocking Sunday footy for Ream Hot Water.
Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia engineer and design their ducted systems for Australian conditions that you can trust. The experts in air.
Yeah, well, that was a peach of a pass, wasn't it, for Jerome? Who's interesting story with him. He obviously had the broken hand 2 weeks ago. He missed last week. He had surgery. He's got a plate in that hand. He did some contact work at training yesterday. He came through that all clear. That's why he's playing today, and he's put his mark on this game already.
He certainly has, Reedy. And if you're waiting for Gordy, I can see him sitting there, but I did catch him before, Jimmy. He took a big bucket of water and just poured it over the panel. Look, he's been saying it's a long day, and I think he might just sabotage the system there, so that's why we can't hear him at the moment. 18-2, Melbourne over Manly is Triple M Rocks Sunday footy. Here's Utoi Kamoru on tackle 2 for Melbourne, playing it for Grant. Grant getting it on, away to Liero. Liero chopped down by Tavanga, and Tavanga gets a big lot of grass in his mouth there as now comes across to Josh King. And Josh King is going down the left edge before he stopped by 2 Manly defenders. Liero a carry up the middle. Oh, he slipped the pass late away to Grant. Grant on to Munster. Munster away now here to Sean Bloor. He passes as he's falling. Finds Munster. Little double pump. On to Howarth. Howarth lost it behind him, but the referee says it went forward.
They're going to challenge this.
I don't think you kicked it to negate it. I don't think it was a deliberate kick to negate it.
And I think Melbourne might just let this one go, because it's 18-2. They're miles on top. Don't burn a challenge here as we look at a replay for Harvey Norman, and I'll tell you what, he didn't knock it forward. Anyway, Manly, well, they get a break that they so desperately needed. This second phase play is just killing the Seagulls.
Yeah, attacking both edges as well. The Melbourne Storm, they hit left, they hit right, got options all over the field, but Manly just need to just get through this set 6, get back into the arm wrestle.
Canterbury, Newcastle coming up later. Canterbury trying to stay unbeaten. Newcastle freshened. That's 6:15 here as it's Olakau'atu pounding it up to halfway. Manly, just be thankful they've got the ball. Here's Nathan Brown getting it on as he reaches the defence to Brooks, turns it into Benjabojevic, and cut down by Liero. They've used Benjabojevic down the middle a lot early, as now Tavanga does the same with a little burrowing run out of dummy half. Tackle 4, 25 out. Jake Trebojevic, dummy half, left to Bruce, onto Hopewadi. Gives it on to Coleman, flips the attempted tackle, then gets with another, passes to Faulalo on the left wing, and the defence comes across in the nick of time to bring him down. Six again! Brooks, I think he just heard that in time because he was set to kick there, and he delivered a pass now to Tavanga, who's been hurt in a tackle, and the opponent has immediately put his hand up. That would be his former Warriors teammate, Eli Katoa, that was quite concerned as Tavanga went down hard. 18-2 Melbourne, 20 and a half gone. Triple M on this Sunday Arvo, as we look at a replay here for Harvey Norman. And no high contact. I think his leg is what we're looking at. Or are we? What are we looking at, Jimmy?
Yeah, it looks like Harry Grant just, as he's made contact, slipped down to the leg. It's planted just Tavanga. I don't think there's anything to worry about here. I personally, I don't see a hip drop. I really don't there, Dan. And the referee was saying just play on. It's tackle 1. With the desperation from Manly in defence, from Melbourne in defence there. Manly with their first real opportunity. Hopewadi causing some issues.
Tavanga's okay.
Defense.
Thank you, Jimmy. Tavanga's okay. No penalty. You might have heard the explanation because Grant was on the ground the whole way.
Yeah.
It's not a hip drop because he's not using his weight to get the man with the ball to ground. So they open up the left here, Manly, needing points. Brooks on the angle. Short ball, Ben Trebojevic. Almost runs over the top of Hughes. Hughes hangs on by the boot. Now a little dummy half plunge from Hopewadi, and they get under him. No try. Is that Leo? Is that Moses Leo, the kid on debut that got under there? Yes, it is.
Dan, you said Jerome Hughes by the boot. Literally speaking, clinging to the boot.
So, Manly here go from left to right as Brooks links up with Cherry Evans. Cut out pass to the right centre, Garrick, and then he's collared around the back there by Jack Howarth. Tackle completed. Saab gives it to Cherry Evans. Last tackle, high kick across the face of goal, coming down 5 away. Offhands comes back to Manly. No restart of the tackle count yet. Faulalo takes it and is caught short. No Melbourne hand in the challenge, and that's a changeover. Did well there, the Storm. Manly threw a fair bit at him. 18-2. Yes, Melbourne 18-2 at Brookie.
Yeah, they're winning on the scoreboard, Melbourne, but they're also winning the energy battle. That's the reason they've got the ability to get those numbers in the picture and fight and just hold the Manly Seagulls. A couple of times they've come close, but Melbourne have just had enough defensively.
So now it's they hit up through Trent Liero. 22 minutes gone here at Brookie as Grant feeding it on to the first try scorer, Utoi Kamanu, and he's copped one there, looked like from Takeaho, which he did not like Utoi Kamanu, thought he was hit high. Last tackle, Hughes boots a long one from right on his 40. It sits up for Faulalo, and he carries it back towards the centre. Let's go to Brent Reid on the sideline. We'll do that for Bob Jane T-March. Reedy.
Yeah, Dan, Melbourne are about to make their first change. Alec McDonald's about to come into this game.
All right, thank you, Reedy. Got an interesting bench, actually, with Wishart and Garlick. Sort of fill the same role, but no problem for them at the moment. Bob Jane T-Marts have a great
forward.
Buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cashback deal on at the moment. Manly forward pass. Call or shop online today. Bob Jane T-Marts, T's and C's apply. So just a terrible forward pass inside their own territory, totally unforced.
Dylan Brown, Danny, we often see him accelerate into the...
Hang on, Nathan Brown.
Sorry, Nathan.
Dylan's coughing enough. You can't pin him for a Manly forward.
My bad. Yes, of course, I got my Browns mixed up there. And it's Nathan with a pretty bad forward pass. He sprints onto that football.
Now it's Munster. On to Howarth. And Howarth goes down the left edge where he's rounded up. Well, Manly have to hold on here. There's no way you would think they can claw back a lead which is already almost out of control. King bumps it up to the 30-metre line. Melbourne looking fantastic so far. Here's Grant. Gives it on now to Liero. Liero backs into them and is brought down 21 metres away. Melbourne on the attack and looking for try 4. Grant left side to Munster running. Great straight run taken down by Hopewadi and then Brown over the top. 11 out on tackle 4. Centre field. Grant to the right to Hughes. Puts in a kick. Here comes another. No. Hopewadi gets there just in time, and it looked like Katoa was home. Katoa had poked his nose in front, it seemed, but Hopewadi, putting his body in harm's way, got there just in time, and he's actually been hurt while saving that one here. And they're looking here. There might have been a hand for Katoa, and in fact there is. That is confirmed, and Manly get a 20-metre tap. So that's a great result for Manly as Bullimore has his first hit-up of the afternoon.
Yeah, we see a lot of that from halfbacks these days. The early kick, aiming for their back rower. But Hopewadi up to the task. He had some work to do because Katoa was fighting for that football, but Hopewadi... Oh, here we go.
Now, Olakau'atu to Garrick. He throws the pass to the wing, and it goes into touch off a Melbourne hand. Off a Melbourne hand. I'll tell you what, that hand might have saved a try there, because that winger for Manly in the very fast Jason Saab was looking at a clear passage to the try line. Xavier Coates had come in. 18-2, Manly get this in reasonable field position.
Yeah, they really needed this. Manly, they needed that call to go their way. But again, just Melbourne, so much energy in defence.
Okay, Bullimore now, 35 out. As Simpkin into the game, feeding it out to Cherry Evans, out to Olakau'atu, keeps it going right to Hopewadi, and he's squashed in the tackle. 10 metres in from touch, 22 metres out. Back infield to Cherry Evans. Out it goes to Nathan Brown. Keeps it going to Brooks. Double pump now as he finds Kohler. Breaks one tackle, breaks another, comes to Hughes, ignores the unmarked winger, and the ball bounces over the line as he tries to ground it. A lack of faith in his winger, perhaps. Tolu Kohler. Now, he might have bounced this on the line if he's grounded it. It is a try, but that seems very unlikely. Now we go to the Harvey Norman replay.
Yeah, let's see if he gets this ball down. No, he doesn't. He loses that cold. What is it this year about
the ball on in
players
the field of
not
play.
wanting to pass to unmarked men on the inside or outside? There's been a couple of occasions this year where we've seen it. There was one in the Penrith Cowboys game. Obviously, there was one the week before in the Cowboys-Canberra game. But just, that's a simple pass to the football. And Melbourne have got their first try of the afternoon. Look at this here. Kohler there. Pass now.
Yeah. There is no one within 5 metres of Fa'alalo. They'd all committed to Kohler, and he's butchered a try for Manly, and they needed it. 18-2 it remains. Melbourne on top, 3 quick-fire tries to Utoi, Kamaru, Munster and Anderson. As Xavier Coates works up the left side here. Hard in the tackle. Both sides came into this game with 6 competition points each, so the winner goes equal top. Brent Reed sideline, Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, again, very interesting before when Manly made a couple of subs. You could hear the assistant coach was right in front of me. And Melbourne had the ball and he was screaming out, no offloads, no offloads, no offloads. Melbourne had 6 offloads in this game already.
Well, here's another, and it was a dead set forward pass as Katoa goes downfield, Reedy, and he's wrapped up 30 away. But Melbourne on the attack, 2 tackles left. Grant to the left of Munster. Munster out here to Bloor. Bloor has the ball batted out of his hands.
Deliberately slap at that to dislodge it.
And you heard it there. That looks like a correct call from Grant Atkins.
Challenge a loose carry, but you deliberately slap it out of his grab.
And is that penalty worthy, Jimmy? It's certainly, you would say, Manly knocked on. So Melbourne are going to get the ball back anyway. Oh no, 2 in the tackle. Yeah, it's like 2 in the tackle. It's
well, the referee explained it. They around it basically being a stripping motion, but advantage forward pass there from Melbourne in the build-up. Wow.
Liero ran of the lot. Geez, we're missing forward passes. I don't know if they're being a little lax on them on purpose or they're just having a bad weekend. Here's Liero bumping it up to the 10-metre line, and he'll play it here. And easy 6 again. Benjabojevic in no hurry to let the man play it. Now on the next. Little discombobulated as Josh King gets it, but I don't think he was ready for it, but he takes the tackle, runs into more offside defenders, so 6 more coming. Here's Grant. Away. Oh, Hughes drops it behind him. And they had the set play happening, but Hughes dropped it, and now Brooks picks it up and draws a penalty as Liero wouldn't let him play it. That could be the turning point in this game. If Manly turn this into a contest, this is the moment because Melbourne looked almost certain to score again.
Yeah, he was probably just travelling a little bit too fast there, Jerome Hughes, given the proximity to the try line and the defence was up in his face. Probably just needed to tempo his run a fraction there. Got a little bit excited. Well, Manly are just somehow clinging on. They couldn't afford to concede in that moment. So they escaped Dan, Jimmy, and they come up with a try.
Thank you, Jimmy, for Seabus Super. Making hard work pay off. As Ben Trebojevic gets a bit of his own treatment there. And yes, 6 more tackles. So Manly start again. Bullimore bumps it to the 40-metre line. Manly in Melbourne territory, down 18-2. Simpkin from dummy half throws right to Cherry Evans onto Olakau'atu, getting a wind-up going, but well handled down low by Sean Bloor. Now Cherry Evans, short side play, away now to Hopewadi, but well read, well covered by the man at marker in Bloor. And now another little blindside effort. This is Garrick taking a few steps, but then stopping and turning it in as it comes from Simpkin to Brown. Brown to Brooks. Away to Trebojevic. Ben beats one, beats another. Taken down low by Katoa. Inside the 10, Manly. Simpkin throws a wild one. It's taken by, I think, Hopewadi. Gives it to Olakau'atu. Has his pants pulled down, but he gets a pass on. Cherry Evans to Jake Trebojevic centre field. Gets an offload. Bullimore for the line. Oh, he's stopped. Melbourne desperate. Manly closing in. Simpkins backs back. Last tackle. Brooks away. Kohler got over this time. Kohler decided he was going to go again, and this time no one was going to stop him. What a turnaround here. 18 points to 6, and all of a sudden, smiles on the faces of these Manly Seagulls. We might just have a game again.
Yeah, I think we've got the game back on track, Dan, in terms of a contest. Melbourne, it was Jerome Hughes with that mistake up at the other end of the field. Manly marched themselves down. There's some great desperation shown by the Melbourne Storm to preserve their try line. It was outstanding work, but they are short for numbers on that right-hand side. They're scrambling again. They're coming up with reads to try and shut down the path to their right-hand side and the shift to Manly's left. But ultimately, Cole has just got too much there. He didn't look like passing then again either, as he got the strong, sticky spray on his hands, Dan. He had no ambition or look or desire to pass the football. He just wanted that try.
Imagine if he didn't get there. Oh, my. But he got there. He got there. And now Garrick, 91% here. Why do they call him up on the beaches? He's a dilf. I don't know what that means. Nor do I need to know. Here's the kick at goal. He's got it. The Pertec predictor bang on. 18 points to 8. Triple M Rocky Sunday footy on this overcast but beautiful Sunday afternoon. Nice and warm and yet to turn cold here in Sydney. Canterbury, Newcastle coming up tonight. Brent Reid on the sideline, Bob James Marks.
Well, that was he obviously owed the team that one after that earlier, and I'll tell you what, you mentioned it in the game, Dan. Jerome Hughes dropped that ball down the other end of the field. You said that could be a turning point in this match. You know what? It feels like it was. It feels like Jerome Hughes made that mistake. Melbourne could have gone out by 4 tries. Instead, they're only up by 2, and Manly have now got a bit of momentum behind them.
Brady, it must be a nice feeling. You go to bookie every week. You're getting home games every Sunday here.
I love a Sunday of our bookie, Dan. Don't we all?
And now
Melbourne making another blue here, Dan.
They sure do. They kick out on the full. It's not over the dead ball line. It's over the touchline. And Garrick, who did a similar thing and gave away a penalty on halfway, is very clever here. He sticks his long right boot out the dilf and touches it before it hits the ground. 18-8.
He catches it. He doesn't need to. All he needs to do is touch it.
Well, now listen to this. Manly, the crowd has awoken. 25 out after putting it in the touch. As it comes to Bullimore. Crashes his way down the middle. 3 defenders stop him. He's 20 away. Simpkin. Manly have done some good things with Simpkin on the field here this afternoon. He goes right side to Brooks, turns it into Nathan Brown. Oh, great tackle, Kamikamitha and McDonald. That had a bit of ferocity about it. Simpkin throws to the left. Brooks turns it in. Ben Trebojevic straight at Eli Katoa. Katoa holds on with the help of Green. 20 in from the left touchline, 10 from the try line. Simpkin goes right to Cherry Evans. turns it into Brown. These are all set-up plays. Brown runs into 2 defenders. This has got to be it here. Tackle number 5. They haven't fired a shot yet. Brooks holds it. Short pass. Kohler almost through. Stands in the tackle. Pops it back to Simpkin. Gives it here to a man backing back in Bullimore, and he just drops to the ground like it's an army drill because he thought there was an obstruction. Last, Manly. Cherry Evans switches back to the left to Brooks. So a terrible stab kick, and it's straight to Jerome Hughes. And Melbourne survived that one. 18-8 Melbourne. What a game. 6.5 to go. It's end-to-end on the scoreboard for Beacon Trade.
Yeah, Dan, it was a poorly executed kick from Luke Brooks, but put that down rather to the work of Harry Grant. Manly did the switch kick, so they passed to Cherry Evans on the right. He flicks it back on the left to Brooks. Usually that catches defenders out, but Harry Grant was onto it. He put the pressure on as Melbourne looked to clear their lines. It's exciting, the brand of football.
Now, what do we got here? We've got Leo tackled after an exciting run, with the word you used, by Coates, and Leo ran about 10 metres past where he was supposed to play it. That's followed up by a boomer of a left foot kick by Munster, and it's taken at the back here by Hopewadi. 3 tries to 1. 18-8 Melbourne, Beacon Trade scoreboard. Cherry Evans, he turns to the right with a pass to Saab. Saab is captured 15 short of halfway. Manly, they've got a renewed energy about them, and it comes here to Lalo, and followed up by Jake Trebojevic. Met on halfway. 4 gone. Played here on this bare surface. Goes to the right, Cherry Evans. Out to Hopewadi. Line ball pass on the Kawachu. Magnificent offload, Cherry Evans. Into the backfield. One-on-one tackle by the last line of defence, Pappenhausen. Final play. 13 now. Melbourne back penalty. Brooks to Ben Trebojevic. Kicks a hard one into a Melbourne player. It bounces back and it's fallen on by Liero. Melbourne survive again, but only just. Now we can... Oh, hang on. We'll come to you in a sec, Gordy. But we'll stick with this because Manly's loading up, trying to force an error. Jerome Hughes almost pokes his nose through with a very sharp run out of dummy half. There's barely been a break in this game. Here's Pappenhausen working down the middle. So you think if a Coups going at his breakneck speed, Pappenhausen's going to have a big moment sooner or later. Grant to the left of Munster. Munster out to play. Stepping, straightening. Geez, being strong. Makes it to within 10 of halfway. And the ball was knocked out there, and Manly have given away a penalty. Oh, now, danger time. Gordy, what have you made of the first 36 minutes?
Watching ground. It's fine.
Well, if you can hear Gordy at home and in the car, we can't. So Gordy's 4 minutes away from being dismissed. And I mean for today, not from the company, Jim McGrath. I bet it's not that bad, but we'll sort that out and try and sort that out.
It depends what he's saying, Dan, because if he's saying it's going to air.
Or maybe he's actually just mouthing words so we can send him home. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Here's Howard, who grabs across field, and he's playing it 32 metres away. He played to Grant. Grant on the Kamikamitha. Down the middle he goes. A terrific barnstorming run. Stopped on the 20. Quick play the ball to Grant. No marker, so he runs to the right onto Hughes. Hughes to Pappenhausen. His pass knocked down by Leo. He wasn't... they weren't in sync there, and that comes away for Manly, and another escape. That's Melbourne. They were so clinical with their 3 tries, but they've butchered a couple of great opportunities since. Falalor works it upfield. 3 to go first half. 18-8 Manly. Trailing. Melbourne in front. Storm on top. Grant stays down on the tackle. Oh, high tackle McDonald. And no action. That looked like a penalty for sure. With Simpkin quite frustrated by that. And now it's Nathan Brown bumping it up. 2.5 to go on the Beacon Trade scoreboard in this first half. Simpkin dummy half to the right with Cherry Evans. A little shimmy. Then on to Walakawatu. He's having a game. Then he gets another offload. It balloons to Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans, though, runs into a cul-de-sac. Runs somehow away from Munster, but he can't escape Liero, who grabs him and swings him like he's a clothesline. 39 away. Cherry Evans plays it. Last tackle. End over end bomb. Here comes the chase. Coming out 10 metres out. Garrick bats it back, but straight to Munster for Melbourne. So Melbourne come away with it with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Triple M rocking Sunday footy. Beacon Trade scoreboard 18-8 Melbourne. Here's Coates, who's bringing it back here. Boy, oh boy, it's been quick.
It has been a frantic pace. Jeez, Olakau'atu, what a player. He's a real go-to for this Manly right edge and attack. All sorts of problems, isn't he, Dan?
3 offloads, and they've all had a real impact on the Choice Hotel stats. McDonald, good run from him down the middle. Gives him a bit of forward momentum. Is now Munster links up with Hughes. Hughes runs, makes it to the halfway line. Stopped by Bentrebovic. Last tackle coming. Now it's Ryan Pappenhausen. Gets a end over end bomb up and coming down 20 away. Hopewadi has to come forward, takes it very comfortably, gets up and goes again. That's miraculous. Beats another. Now he's stopped. They're only 11 short of halfway. They're going to get a good shot at this before half time. Now comes from left to right as Cherry Evans, a second receiver, got on the outside of his man Bloor. Then the pass to Olakau'atu. This time Olakau'atu's knocked over. He can't get the offload on. Halfway line. Cherry Evans, little short side run, but well taken by Howarth and Bloor. Just in from the hill touchline. Play to Saar. Throws open left to Simpkin. Getting it on the Bullimore. Taken high. They might take 2 here, although it's not the easiest one even for Garrick. 40 metres out, 30 seconds left. This is a very interesting decision because they're still down by 10 and this would only get them by 8. But the odds of scoring a try are pretty limited, so they are going to go for 2 here, and Garrick will try and inch Manly just a little closer. Well,
it's such a frantic pace, isn't it? What about the run from Hopewata to get them into this position? That was just so sublime. What is it, 20 games of first grade?
Yeah.
So, you know, we spoke about the impact of no Tommy Trbojevic, and can they win a title without him? I don't think they can. They need him playing at the back end of the season and playing well, but certainly it isn't what it used to be when Trbojevic, Tommy, was missing with Hopewata. What a youngster, what a player.
That's why they've won 5 of their last 9 without Turbo. So Garrick here, 86%. So even with the distance, the Pertec kick predictor expects him to nail this one. For a reliable performance, turn to Pertec, drama resistant since 1980. That is a pinpoint kick, never going to miss. And it goes dead as well. Not only through, but it goes the extra 10 metres. So he's drilled that one. Good game, great game. Melbourne, they threatened to blow this game completely apart, but Manly have hung in. It's 18 points to 10. Triple M rocking Sunday footy. Don't forget, Canterbury, Newcastle straight after us. Ream Hot Water and Macca's bringing us a very good match.
Shut up! The foot is on Triple M! Triple M rocks footy. Tradies, big jobs, small jobs, tough jobs. Beacon Trade's got the lighting, fans and electrical to get it done. Join up at beacontrade.com.au. Triple M breakfast. Bo, Ryan and Woodsy.
Me and Woodsy, we're in like the Novotel. They've got this breakfast buffet, $87 a head. He says to me, well, you put it on your bill, Triple M will refund it. Yeah. I go and get an omelette. He comes back with a giant-sized bowl of Cocoa Pops. What an idiot. And I went back for seconds too.
Best Sheds 25% off all shed sale is on now. T's and C's apply. Triple M breakfast. 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays on Triple M.
From 8 p.m. on Friday the 4th of April to 8 a.m. Sunday the 6th of April, the M7 motorway will have lane closures and reduced speed limits. Please expect delays in both directions between Elizabeth Drive and Cowpasture Road. Please plan your trip ahead of time. For updates on lane closures, speed limits and further information on the M7 motorway work, visit livetraffic.com or m7m12integrationproject.com.au.
The Snooze Autumn Sale is on now. Save up to 50% off selected mattresses. Plus, take an extra 10% off selected mattresses on already reduced prices. Hurry, sale on now. Exclusions, T's and C's apply.
What a little snooze can do.
Jacko. Yeah, you've had a few, and the overconfident you is thinking, I'll drive home. Easy, just around the corner. But Jack, say hello to your Terry godmother. A 6'5" friendly reminder that just a few is a few too many. And those sweet somethings Terry's whispering. Booze-induced poor judgment. Get a taxi. Good idea. And it was your good idea, Jack. If you're drinking, don't drive. What's your plan B? A message from the New South Wales Government.
Trust is crucial for any tradie. Trusting your tools to nail the job. Trusting your team to deliver top-notch work.
Hey, mate!
And of course, trusting your best mate to lend a paw. For insurance, IMAR has been trusted by tradies for over 35 years. We work hard finding you the right cover, chasing your claims and getting you back on the job fast. For tradies insurance you can trust, give IMAR a whistle on 13IMAR.
Never tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
With so many holiday homes on Booking.com, there are so many Tina Feys I could be. Surfing Tina at a beach villa. Is that a shark? Or channel surfing Tina in an apartment. Ooh, a shark show. Book whoever you want to be. Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
Harvey Norman Seconds World. 2 locations, Penrith and Auburn. Selling TVs, ovens, fridges, washers, dryers. New stock arriving daily. Factory seconds. Carton damaged. Ex-display. Harvey Norman Seconds World. Where the big brands clear their stock and you get a bargain. Bring your truck, bring your trailer, bring your money. Harvey Norman Seconds World, Penrith, and now at 103 Parramatta Road, Auburn.
Shut up! The foot is on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy. Tradies, big jobs, small jobs, tough jobs. Beacon Trade's got the lighting, fans and electrical to get it done. Join up at beacontrade.com.au.
All right, Melbourne, Manly. Melbourne 18, Manly 10. It was 18-2. Tries to Munster, Utoi Kamanu. He was first, the big unit, and Anderson as well. And for Manly, just the one try. Tolu Kola, but a couple of penalty goals. Makes this an 8-point game. Jimmy Graham, you've done plenty of talking in the first half, so Gordon, tell us. Now I think I can hear from you.
There you go, mate.
You didn't get your early mark, did you? You didn't get your early mark.
No, mate, but I've enjoyed the game. It's been outstanding. There's been a lot of footy. Manly, they've completed 16 out of 18 sets, controlled everything, but yet going behind on the scoreboard. That's just how good Melbourne Storm are.
Yeah.
They're freakish.
They'll be in the dressing room, Melbourne. Jerome Hughes will be thinking, as they weren't any good at all in that first half, because that one stuffed up play has left us with the contest.
It has, Dan, and look at Melbourne Storm, how they come to dominate this game. It was 3 sets back to back to back. They went try. After some sustained period of back and forth between both teams, Melbourne scored. They scored off the kick-off, and they scored off the kick-off again, and that's been the difference. That passage of play has Melbourne with a 10-point or 8-point buffer after Garrick just took that penalty before half-time, but it's been a fascinating contest. Really, this is 2 good teams that are going up against each other. That I think and it's made for a fantastic Sunday afternoon.
Very different type of Battle of Brookvale. Hasn't been much ferocity. Not that it's been soft by any means, but it's been just end to end. It's been about the intensity in terms of the pace of the game. And you said it, Jimmy. 16 from 18, Manly. Melbourne 14 from 18 completions on the Choice Hotel stats. Territory's about even. Melbourne have only had, Gordy, 7 tackles in the opposition 20.
I know.
Aren't they spectacular? When they are in bodies in motion and Munster and Hughes are cooking, goodness, they're a good team.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget Harry Grant. He comes out and he sort of stumbles a little bit and he pretends, and then he just fires the pass across. Munster taking on the bigger man and just finding numbers. But it comes down to Harry Grant. Stefano, I think he's been really strong as well. He scored that great try. It's a bit of a trend. The big front rowers getting over.
Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, just sort of, well, Dan, I've always said, what gets you to the try line?
Get you over.
Get you over the try line. But all the little halves want to come in and start putting on their fancy plays. Mate, if your big forwards can get you to 40-metre line, I'm pretty sure they can get you the next 4 to crash over.
Mate, blame the bloke next to me. The Jimmy Graham types that wanted to run to the line and pass. Now they've decided, hang on, we're big bastards. We're just going to go through.
If I was blessed like Willison, I'd do exactly the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to play to your strengths, Dan.
You're pretty good. You're a fair ball player. Triple M rocking the footy here. 18 points to 10. Melbourne over Manly. Canterbury, Newcastle coming up after this. We've got hopefully a good second half on the way. It's certainly close enough that we might really have a serious contest here from an overcast Brookvale Oval. Triple M rocking the footy for Ream Hot Water and for Macca's.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
Tradies, big jobs, small jobs, tough jobs. Beacon Trade's got the lighting, fans and electrical to get it done. Join up at beacontrade.com.au.
Yeah, tradies, while you're backing your football team, Beacon Trade is backing your business.
Yeah, they've got the biggest range of fans. They've got every kind of down. Oh, I love a good downlight, Jimmy.
Makes a difference.
You go into a house and you think this is classy. We've got some downlights and a massive range of lighting options. Plus, they'll even help you plan your lighting situation for free.
Yeah, get the best range at the best price. beacontrade.com.au. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
Triple M Breakfast. Bo, Ryan and Woodsy.
Did everyone see Albo's stack?
He has come out and said, no, it wasn't actually a stack.
I stepped back one step. I didn't fall off the stage.
How much does that sound like your mum after she's had a few wines at a barbecue? I didn't fall over. I just stepped back and I was in the pool. Mum, you were blind.
Best Sheds 25% off all shed sale is on now. T's and C's apply. Triple M Breakfast. 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays on Triple M.
Do you have a big piece of junk you wish would disappear?
Would you happily pay to make it go away?
How does $149 sound?
Did you just promise that we would haul away any first item for just $149?
Yes. Wasn't that the plan?
Well, it is now.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Let the party begin.
1-800-GOT-JUNK will haul away the first thing you point at. Anything two strong people can carry.
For just $149.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.au.
With so many holiday homes on Booking.com, there are so many Tina Feys I could be. Surfing Tina at a beach villa. Is that a shark? Or channel surfing Tina in an apartment. Ooh, a shark show. Book whoever you want to be. Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
Is gambling getting in the way at work? Getting in the middle of your relationship?
Are you coming to bed?
Or even infiltrating your child's games? Gambling can impact our lives and loved ones in ways you might not realise. Be aware. Visit Gamble Aware. For information or confidential support 24/7, visit gambleaware.nsw.gov.au. A New South Wales Government initiative.
Construction work is underway on the M7 to M12 integration project, creating a new connection to the M12 motorway and widening the M7 motorway between the M5 and Richmond Road, including 41 bridges. Road users should expect closures, detours, reduced speed limits and delays. Visit livetraffic.com or m7m12integrationproject.com.au for updates. Speed limits on the M7 will reduce to 60 kilometres an hour and 40 kilometres an hour near work zones. Please slow down and protect our workers and other road users.
Back your business with Energy Australia's dedicated team of energy experts and get a great deal on your business electricity. Find out how at energyaustralia.com.au.
Harvey Norman Seconds World. There are only two in Sydney, Auburn and Penrith, selling carton damaged, superseded, factory seconds display stock, TVs, fridges, washers, cookers, dryers, freezers, small electrical, bargains, silly prices. Harvey Norman Seconds World. Bring your truck, bring your trailer, bring your money. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Harvey Norman Seconds World. 2 Sydney locations. Penrith in 103 Parramatta Road, Auburn.
Triple M rocks footy. Halftime highlights.
Get expert service trusted by the trade at your local Mitre 10 Trade Centre.
Manly holding on. 11 minutes gone. Munster. Short pass. Uche Kamanu goes through and scores. You can't give Melbourne that many chances. They'll eventually find their way over, and they've done it with an unlikely first try scorer, Stefano Uche Kamanu. He's over next to the post, playing it now for Grant. Throws long left to Liero. Keeps it going to Hughes. Hughes to Munster. Dummies! Fools on Kawatsu. Goes for the line and scores! Oh my goodness, Cam Munster has started today like he's King Wally Lewis. 2 tries. He scores one, he orchestrates the other. Oh, that was beautiful. Melbourne now, 15 out, left side. Comes to the open right to Munster. A little gallop. Now on to Hughes. Then the floating pass. It's another Melbourne try as Anderson strolls over. This is a statement. A Melbourne Storm statement. Manly closing in. Simpkins backs back. Last tackle. Brooks away. Kohler got over this time. Kohler decided he was going to go again, and this time no one was going to stop him. What a turnaround here. Great game. It's 18 points to 10. All right, Triple M rocking Sunday Arvo footy round 5 next week, back to 2 p.m. And here's the lineup next week, 7:50 Thursday. So take note, it was 8 o'clock Sydney time, 7 o'clock Brisbane time. We're now, with no daylight saving, 7:50 is going to be the Thursday night start time, which I've got to say, Jimmy and Gordy's a bit late. I was home the other day, the other Thursday, I ran night off. Boy, it's a long time waiting for that 8 o'clock Thursday game. It is too late. Anyway.
Daylight saving in Queensland, Dan. We loved it. I don't even think it affected the ratings. The footy's on an hour earlier.
Yeah, I'm not saying in Queensland. Yeah, 7 o'clock's a great time to start the Thursday game.
It's a great time. Has it affected the audience? I would say no.
Well, I think the free-to-air broadcaster likes that pre-game because it's free television and they get to pump in a lot of ads, so that's why they have it. Anyway, let's not. I'll get off my soapbox. 7:50 Dolphins Panthers 14th versus 15th. My word, it's very odd looking at the NRL app here, seeing Panthers 15th. Friday 6 p.m. Dragons Titans Wollongong. Titans are fair income, Gordy. That's one. Surely they can.
Well, you think they'd have to bounce back, wouldn't you?
Geez, Paul. 2 in a row. That's disappointing. 8 o'clock, Broncos Roosters, 1st versus 16th, Suncorp Stadium, 8 p.m. Saturday. Doubleheader in Perth. Geez, that's going to be weird. Basically, the whole Perth thing has collapsed, and now we're taking 2 games there. Sharks Manly, Optus Stadium, so it's 1 o'clock Perth time, but 3 o'clock Eastern. 5:30, South Sydney and the Cowboys, and then Darwin is the 7:35 game, Parramatta versus Canberra. And then Sunday, our game, Melbourne versus Warriors. Warriors, they're quietly working up the ladder, 3 wins in a row. Had the bye this week. And then the 4 p.m. game, a rematch of round 1, Newcastle versus Wests Tigers. You'll get that Triple M in the Hunter and on the listener app as well. But obviously we now do the 2 p.m. games. All right, here we go. What happens this second half, Gordon? Tell us as Manly comes out.
I think Melbourne Storm go on with it. I think that the score sort of flattered Manly, even though they were so good in the first half. I think if Melbourne can control the ball, I think Bellamy would have given them a bit of a rev at half time.
Yeah, Storm can get any periods of dominance, they'll score more points. For Manly, they can't afford to invite Melbourne into their Westpac red zone. They really can't.
Manly have to be as clinical with the ball. Only 2 errors on the Choice Etzil stats. That's a big ask in itself. Melbourne made 5 errors, and that's what's kept this game close, really. So Manly, Melbourne, second half about to begin here on Triple M footy. Second last game of round number 5. And the lights should start to take over, Gordy. Now we've got daylight saving gone. We can bring that little chestnut back. So now we had to wait for the television director to give the all clear, which is done, and off we go as the sun breaks through on the hill. And Melbourne carry it forward through Alec McDonald. 12 metres out from his own line. Melbourne running to the Fulton stand end, the northern end, where it's carried forward now by Liero. Wrestled in the tackle. Bit of extra on that one from Cherry Evans, but no action from the referee. Kamikamitha twisted awkwardly in the tackle, legally by the 2 Trebojevic forwards. On the next, it comes from Jerome Hughes. Got a pass to Katoa, but 2 men, the defenders, are on him the whole way. Simpkin and Brooks, both former Tigers. Now comes back on the inside with Kamikamitha charging down the middle and almost a halfway. Very decent set for Melbourne to start their second half. High kick from Jerome Hughes towards the left wing, and Hopewadi takes it and carries it back over the 20-metre line. So off and running in the second period. Brent Reid down to you on the sideline, Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, look, Dan, Craig was pretty happy with that first half. The one concern he had was their completions dropped off in the latter stages of that first half. They ended up at 65%, I think, which is why he said Manly got back to the game. He also said they stopped sticking in contact, they started dropping off tackles, and then again allowed Manly to get back in the game late in that first half. In terms of Anthony Seibold, he said, look, if this gets down to the last 10 minutes, we'll get them in the last 10 minutes. Don't try and win it in the first 30, but in the last 10, if we're within striking distance, we'll win this game.
All right, thank you, Reedy. Manly, an efficient set here, but a bit of ball movement. They've got it over halfway. And on the last, it's Cherry Evans putting up a high kick. That son really powerful on the hill now. Up goes Pappenhausen, great catch. And he collided mid-air with Faulalo, and the referee consent that Faulalo was making a genuine effort to catch that ball. So Pappenhausen made to play it. And now they load up here, Manly, with Melbourne drop back through Anderson. No meters for him, and Coates barely up to the 20-metre line. So Manly here, positive start in this second half. There's a carry for Melbourne through Anderson again. Sees him stopped just short of the 30. Grant weaving out a dummy half, toying with Bullimore for a few metres, and then runs 15 metres. Boy, that's a good run, just when they needed a little spark. Last tackle, Hughes outside the 40. Kicks high, again down the Manly left channel. That's taken on the full by Hopewadi, and he brings it back up to the 20. So it's rinse and repeat here to start this second half. As Brooks picks up a dummy half, throws to the middle where Saab punches it forward. And he's collected 18 short of halfway. You've got Gordon Tallis and Jimmy Graham, your super experts. Olakawatu throws a pass early out to the wing of Garrick. Garrick was brought down on halfway, but now Olakawatu at a dummy half. He takes the marker, good. Harry Grant, and just shovels him to the ground. Finally put down. Here's Cherry Evans getting cute, trying to go down the short side, and then hurls it back infield and around the back pass to Simpkin. Simpkin takes it, but he's tackled 15 metres further downfield the other way where Cherry Evans was. Terrible play from DCE. And he kicks out a dummy half. Cherry Evans rolls along the ground, taken by Pappenhausen, draws in a defender as he runs down the right onto Anderson, steps inside Bullimore and almost up to the 40. So that DCE gamble has put Melbourne in a reasonable spot here, 10 short of halfway as it's set up by Eli Katoa. Melbourne 18, Manly 10, Mitsubishi Triton scoreboard.
Yeah, Ryan Pappenhausen making such a difference with his kick returns down. That was the catalyst for that spell that Melbourne had in the first half. If you don't control him, Melbourne will be dangerous.
Now they lay down the left side where it's come to Howarth. Chopped down here by Garrick. 30 metres out. Comes back to the open side. Munster, bad pass. Going down low to take it is Hughes, but he's easy meat for the defence. And Hughes is upset at something there, and he's giving a bait to Nathan Brown, and he's giving a bait to the ref at the same time. Munster just wafts across field, then turns it in here to Liero, and Liero stopped, can't get him to ground. Brown was chopping his arm like he was Dave Foster. 21 metres out, last tackle, chip kick here, Gordy gets it, up they go, bounces back for Hopewadi, and Manly have got it back. 5 from their own line, Manly, so they've got to dig deep here. 18-10, no change to the half-time score. Melbourne in front as Saab makes it to within, or 9 out from his own line.
Dan, I think he's our most successful athlete. I think he's won more world championships than anybody else.
It wasn't, I don't know if he went to Eka Gordy, but I'll tell you what, if you went to the Easter show and you didn't see Dave Foster, you were un-Australian. Now here's Saab. He works it up 19 short of halfway, and he'll play it. A great wood chopper. Now comes at the left here, Nathan Brown onto Brooks, turns it in, Ventrabojevic, strong tackle around the waist by Katoa. Played to Simpkin, gives it on to Brown. Brown carrying it forward on tackle 5, makes it to halfway, tries to milk a penalty, the ref having none of it. Last tackle, high kick now from Brooks, coming down about 20 away. This won't be easy, and great catch. Grant Anderson there, out on the wing. He out-dueled the Manly chaser. And Melbourne come away with it now. This is Leo. Oh, this is a strong run. There's a bit of New Zealand Rugby Sevens action. He bumped off one, bumped off another, ran about 20 metres. Followed up here by Grant, weaving down the right side around Brooks. And now he's put on his back, primarily by Kohler. Melbourne winning the arm wrestle here. 18-10 up they lead. Here's Hughes turning it into McDonald. McDonald chopped down by Brooks, and up top Jake Trbojevic, right side. Grant fires it out at dummy half to Hughes. Lovely run, turns it inside to Kamikamitha, but wrapped up ball and all by Jake Trbojevic. 25 out last. Hughes, plenty of time to settle for the kick. High one, coming down left wing. Up they go, taken by Coates, but Saab gets into a contest with him. And then Coates eventually is stopped by 3 other Manly defenders, and that's a changeover. Well, Manly have done very well to hold on there. 18-10 they trail.
They did a really good job on Coates there. He got the football, but Manly had 3 players in attendance, just swarmed Coates, unable to get the offload away. Keeps them in the contest.
But they are looking tired here. Melbourne they've gone up a gear. Early second half. Horrific pass out of dummy half. Bounces up and taken by Brooks. And all he can do is take the tackle. Manly stuck in their 20 until this run from Tolu Kola. Sees him brought down on the 4th. Simpkin, nice pass out of dummy half to Bullimore. Even nicer pass to Ben Trebojevic, who's wrapped up on halfway. And now we've got a problem. We've got a bad play the ball.
You fell over with no balance and control. Play the ball.
Well, Manly, Ben Trebojevic got excited there.
No balance and control.
They for the first time in their second half, had momentum. Ben Trebojevic got up quickly, too quickly. Melbourne ball halfway line.
Yeah, just plants the ball down. Ben Trebojevic, and as he plays it, he falls over. Yeah. See them giving off in this year.
Every time we see a replay, you can't argue it. They're always correct on the Harvey Norman replay. So Melbourne again pressing. Pappenhausen going down the right side, exploring, looking for a little opening. Not finding it. Brooks and Bullimore make the tackle on Pappenhausen. 10 in from the Hill touchline. Spread now to the open end. Grant to Hughes. Hughes to Munster. Munster braces for contact, and it's strong contact from Garrett. And the two collide centre field. Now it's Grant picking up and throwing back to the right to Liero. On it goes to McDonald, and McDonald pokes his nose on the 10-metre line. Last tackle, Hughes. Oh, magnificent cut-out pass. Anderson can see the line, and he contorts his way over. That's more like it from Jerome Hughes, but boy, Grant Anderson had work to do. He's got a double, and Melbourne reassert their authority on this game. 22-10, the kick will be from out wide.
Yeah, so many threats to Melbourne. Storm, we saw Pappenhausen and Harry Grant starting to warm to the task, taking them on, and it comes off with Trebojevic. Sloppy play the ball, which gives them the opportunity. And they're just so professional, Dan. They're so clean. It goes huge, and he throws a beautiful cutout ball. And he steps back inside and slams it down. He had a fair bit of work to do. That's great awareness. That's great awareness from Anderson to get his double.
Yeah, Jerome Hughes was commanding the football there. He could sense that the Manly Seagulls were short on that side of the field. Recognised Hopperwater was in the line trying to pull some troops across on the last play. I thought he may have elected for the little kick in behind, but he saw Anderson was in open space. Fires the pass across to him, some footwork. Manly players slow to react. They've come up and in. He almost gets in behind them. Good finish, but even better play from Jerome Hughes.
That right in front of the Bob Fulton stand, and this is a big kick for Pappenhausen. He's a fair way in from touch, but the Pertec kick predictor doesn't like his chances. 38%, not one of the premier kickers of our competition. And it's on the right side, 38%. Now, we keep looking at this replay. I think it's been given the all clear, but we're just looking at something here. We're looking at the line run by Katoa and Moses Leo. Both runs are fine. No one is impeded. And here is the kick, so it has been given the all clear. Pappenhausen moves in and guides it through. He started it outside the right upright, brought it back. And Anderson sprays himself there with some stickum. Doesn't hurt it at the moment. That was a great put down. 24-10. Melbourne back out to a 14-point lead on the Mitsubishi Triton scoreboard. And nothing, as you know, nothing can frighten a Triton. They've got the turbocharged power, the workhorse grunt, the incredible off-road performance, and the best-in-class superior steering and handling. And it's all back with Australia's first rock-solid 10-year warranty and 10 years cap price servicing and 4 years roadside assistance. Reedy, down to you on the sideline.
Geez, a handy footballer, isn't he, Grant Anderson? I don't remember 2 weeks ago against Penrith. He left the field late in the game. It looked like he'd done his knee. He actually came back on with it strapped up. He's still got it strapped up now. He's kept playing through what they feared was a medial ligament injury, and he's joined the Broncos next year. It's going to be a great sign for the Brisbane Broncos.
Is that right? Okay, thank you, Reedy. Yeah, he's a Mr. Fix-It. He's got a few of them. You can put him in the halves. He's done that before. Centres, wing. Now it's Melbourne working it out here. 24-10. 29 and a half to go. Plenty of time for Manly here, but Melbourne all of a sudden back in control. There's Munster. Catches and passes to Blore. And Blore is felled by Cherry Evans and Garrett. And the next it comes to Munster, runs. Then he gets a pass to Hughes and he takes off and he breaks them open. Early ball for Munster, too early. Munster gets it on to Ryan Pappenhausen and he's under the sticks. They've done it again, Melbourne. They score one, and how quickly they can score another. They've scored two without Manly touching it. That's a good try, 28-10.
Yeah, just that quick play, the ball through the middle. Jerome Hughes goes to the edge. What a game he's had. And he just slides through. It's clinical, and it gets on the outside of Travojevic. He does pass too early on the inside to Munster. He's not going to get there. But then he arrives. Pappenhausen. He's got enough speed. The flying mullet, the flying doormat. He gets over.
Yeah, well, it's their ability to move the ball from sideline to sideline and have this spine combined. I'm not sure if Jerome Hughes and Cam Munster have a little side bet on who's going to score the most tries. Perhaps that's why he passed it early and thought, I'm not going to let you get there, my friend. But Munster passes it on to Ryan Pappenhausen. Just, you have to be on your guard at all times when you're playing against this Melbourne Storm with their ability to shift the ball, the pace that they possess. But again, Dan, you're correct in your assessment there, where it's another try off a kick-off set that Manly have conceded and Melbourne have scored from.
And Hopewadi did a great job there. He nearly covered both players, and he tackled Pappenhausen. So he covered Hughes, covered Munster, and tackles Pappenhausen over the try line.
So the kick is good. Biggest lead of the afternoon now, 30-10. 30-10. And Melbourne here can really make a statement and blow Manly out of the water. This is threatening to be a hiding. 18-10 half-time. But Melbourne really starting this second half the way they started the first. Room hot water. Always bring us a footy. And if your hot water needs replacing, you know what to do. You go for the one that is steady, hot and strong, and you ask your plumber to install the Room. By the way, Macca's Hot Honey has dropped at Macca's for a limited time. What is Hot Honey? Embrace
the sauce, Dan. Oh, it's a great sauce, the Hot Honey.
I have noticed, Gordy, so I love getting my coffee at Macca's when I'm on the run, as Melbourne ring it back. The hot cross bun McFlurry, that looks incredible, I got to say. The hot cross bun McFlurry. And I'm just keeping my discipline about me, Gordy, but that might break me, that one. 10 short of halfway.
You don't want to pop a button on TV, Dan.
That is the arrow. Away to Grant. Grant on to Katoa. Katoa fashions an offload. Back to Grant. Grant to Hughes. Hughes strong in the tackle, but three of them there to meet him. Now, this is what you don't want. You don't want to be against a Melbourne team with a big lead and then wanting to really show off here, which is what they're doing. A lovely underarm pass from Liero. Back to Grant. Giving it to Hughes. Hughes. He tried to fool them there and just lull into the defence, and then he took off. But he's gone down awkwardly here. I'm not sure how bad it is, but he gets up. And now Pappenhausen kicking down the blind side, coming down 5 out, and up they go. Rebounds back. 6 more! Grant's got it here for Melbourne, and this will really bury Manly if Melbourne get another. Here comes Anderson, dummy half, onto Utoi Kamanu. No, he can't get a second. No, he's not going to get it here. Jake Trbojevic brings him down. Corey Riddell there to cover. Olakawatu also. Grant centre field. Fires it right to Pappenhausen. Gets it on the Katoa. Out it goes to Anderson. He's got 3. It can't be that easy. It shouldn't be that easy. That's poor defence, but that's just clinical attack. And Grant Anderson gets a hat-trick. And they're going to start to send these Manly fans home early the way this is going, 34-10.
Yeah, Dan, another kickoff set. This time, Melbourne Storm put up a bomb, a pretty simple one. They get a 6 again. They've moved the ball to their right-hand side. And this is without Jerome Hughes. He was involved in a bit of an incident. He's just clutching at an ankle, I believe. So he wasn't even involved in that play. Anderson goes over untouched. A nice little sweeping move. Pappenhausen involved. Edge back rower Katoa taking the position of Jerome Hughes there in that sweep line. We see a lot of edge back rowers use that line these days. And Gordy, it's hard to see Manly getting anywhere near the Melbourne Storm at the moment.
No, 34 points to 10 with the kick to come. And just then, like, Hughes goes down and it goes, and Pappenhausen puts a pinpoint kick in. They all get through. They all chase the ball. Harry Grant, he could have passed it. They could have tried to go for a miracle play, plays the ball, and they come back to short side. And Anderson, you're right, he's got his third. Manly are gone, Dan.
Yeah, they are.
Dare I say it?
They're going to get 50, Melbourne. If they're fair income, now we saw in round 1 against Parramatta, they put the queue in the rack, and obviously Manly's a lot better than what Parramatta were in round 1. But Melbourne, you get the sense of they'll want to bury them here. They'll want to send the crowd home early. That will be an actual aim of theirs. Pappenhausen, 31% from the sideline, has nailed it again. Well, he's found his range. 36-10. Reedy once again down to you on the sideline.
Yeah, and you boys were talking about Jerome Hughes there and that little scary. He was actually down with the trainer. The trainer was doing some tests on his knee just prior to that conversion being taken. He got the thumbs up. He gave the thumbs up to the sideline. He got up. He's back in the game now, Jerome Hughes. And for a guy who was in doubt during the week, I mean, he's in jersey number 22 today. He's had a whopping game. 2 try assists, 3 tackle busts, 4 runs. He's looked outstanding, Jerome Hughes.
He sure has. Fair return, and the bloke's got his hands strapped up. Got the teams for Canterbury and Newcastle. We'll do that in a moment. There's some changes to Canterbury, and if you're a Bulldogs fan, you're going to like them. We're going to like the one. Jacob Kiraz is in. So Jacob Kiraz is in jersey number 23. As good as they've been, they've actually missed him, haven't they? So he's in. And Blake Taff comes in on the bench, replacing Curtis Morin. Oh, penalty Melbourne midway through the set. Manly just can't slow down the ruck, and now they're resorting to hand on the ball, and they've been pinged. Newcastle 1-17. Canterbury, Newcastle. Enjoy that if you're driving out to a core as we speak, trying to get your little parking spot there. Enjoy. That sounds like it's going to be a great event with the Bulldogs at home for the first time this year.
Dan, we were talking in the pre-game about, is this Melbourne Storm side the best in the competition? And with performances like today, it is hard to argue against this. When this spine combined, they are scintillating. They punish you for any little mistake that you make. You have to be on your guard on every single play. You can't afford any lapses in concentration. When Melbourne are in this type of mood, they are the best in the comp, no doubt.
So now it's Hughes turning it in. McDonald over the 40 on tackle number 3. There's still 23 to go here. Melbourne 36-10. Harry Grant zips out a dummy half, but there's a knock on.
Balancing control, mate. You fell over the
In fact, not a knock on. It's a poor play the ball. So McDonald. Problem for McDonald, he didn't need to hurry that. He just fell over. Lost his balance.
Wait there.
And, Grant did nothing wrong. And looking at a replay, when a player's going to learn, they actually have to pretend to try and play back and not just tunnel balls. 36-10.
I was good at that, Dan.
Of course you were. Now here's Benjabovic. Well, and I'll tell you what, you had some friends. Everyone tunneled it under. You mean the actual tunnel ball?
Yeah, tunnel ball at school. One of my favourite games.
Is that the one where you had to roll it underneath?
Roll it under about 6. Yeah, couldn't look, roll it behind you.
But no look good me. And he's Manly now with a slicing run from Hopewadi, but chopped down by Munster. But they're inside the 20 this evening. Looking for a bit of joy here in this second half. They've conceded 3 tries. Brooks veering down the left, throws a pass, batted up by Anderson for Melbourne, and he intercepts it. His day gets better and better. I think I said his day gets better and better. I was going to say his game. I got confused. Well, 3 tries, and now he saved one there because there were 2 unmarked Manly players on his outside if Anderson doesn't tap it. Now Munster walking across field, giving it to Kartoa. Underarm pass to Howard. Early pass from Coates. Coates doesn't see much of it today. All the attacks happen at the other end. Coates now bounds in field. And there's met 39 away. Tackle number 3 for Melbourne. So about to go on the attack again, or at least get an attacking kick up as Utoy Kamanu bumps his way to the 30. And now Grant shows inside and then stab kicks down the middle. The chase is on here, and this is going to be a try. His first touch, Bronson Garlick, is a try. That's terrible for Manly, but Harry Grant is a dead-set genius. What vision. And Bronson Garlick scores. Melbourne have hit 40.
This is, again, the spine combined. Look at the movement Hughes switches to the short side. That causes confusion. That attracts Hopoate's attention. Yeah. But then Grant switches to the open. He shows to Munster a beautiful little grubber kick. And Bronson Garlick with his first touch. Just that little movement there, Gordon, from Jerome Hughes. Doesn't get the football, but it just gets the attention of Hopoate, which puts him out of position for the kick.
Well, and he has to go the short side. Hughes sneaks down the short side. Pappenhausen was on his inside. You're thinking that's where they're going to go. Harry Grant throws a little dummy, comes out, puts a grubber in, and that's fantastic. Not often you see Craig Bellamy with the smile on his face. He's smiling after this. That is brilliant.
Gordy, this team has the potential. This is a bold statement, right? What's the best attacking team? What, 90s Broncos? Canberra 90.
Raiders, Penrith. Yeah, look, there's some great sides.
This team has the ability to be the most exciting, or with the most exciting attacking teams we have ever seen, because they score in so many different ways. The old Melbourne bludgeon you. This team is so creative. Well, you want to watch this team play. They're just brilliant at everything they do. Pappenhausen. He guides it through 42-10. 19 to go in this game. Are they leaving it, Reedy? Are the fans off to the Brookvale pub?
There's a few making their way up the ground, Dan. I don't blame them after that, because as good as Harry is and as smart as he is, there was a lack of desperation there from Manly. I mean, Bronson Garlick, with due respect to him, he's not Usain Bolt, but he won that easily, that race, that football. So, complete lack of desperation by Manly. You're right, Dan, the numbers heading for the exit, it's growing.
And that they will be looking at that Melbourne going, you little beauty, look what we did. Though something's got Jimmy Graham's attention, but there they are, the fans.
Just Melbourne in their kick-off setup. The short side to the non-kick-off side, so their right side, they kick off to the left. The short kick-off is on every single time. And we've seen plenty of examples of kick-offs, and there's no one on the 10. The closest player on the right-hand side of the field is on the 30-metre line.
So now it's they head up down the right side. Melbourne, total domination in this second half. 9 line breaks. That's pitiful defence, but it's just great attack as Grant almost a halfway. Who's got the 3? You've got the 3-2-1s. Good luck. Here it comes now. Now it's Hughes. He's in the mix. Grant's in the mix. Anderson's in the mix. Munster's in the mix. Garlick is rucked up. Last tackle, 45 out. Munster pokes in a kick down the sideline. And, bad bounce, but Hopewadi just hauls it in time. Coach was all over him.
Dan, on some days you just want to give 5 players 1 point each.
All right. Well, hang on, let's work it out. So 3-2-1. That's no, Saab's dropped it.
6, sorry.
Saab has dropped it. That's it.
Harry, what do you want?
That should be our rule. We'll be the one media organisation, right? Melbourne Scrumford, by the way, 15 out. Yes, we do 3-2-1. Well, we give 6 points away, but how we distribute them is our business. There'll be a game you just give someone all 6.
Well, sometimes they deserve it. Yeah. Well, okay, when Lomax played the Bulldogs that day, he deserved more points than what he got.
So now Melbourne, the celebrations there was stark for a team up 42-10. They are really wrapping this up. Howard from the scrum. He's gone through some pathetic Manly defence and he scores. He just strolled through and he left Paul Ruben Garrick on the ground. But that's shocking defence. As creative as Melbourne are, now Manly are getting booed on their home ground. That's how quickly it turns here. Jack Howarth becomes another try scorer, 46-10, and now we search for the record books.
Yeah, this is just off the base of the scrum. It's 2-on-2. Howarth catches the ball on the inside of Garrick, then skips to the outside, shows it over to his winger in Coates, but he's not needed. Fades out. This is really poor defence. Really poor defence, Gordon.
Absolutely, and Ruben, and he laid there. He had his head down for a while, and you just saw
his players look back at him. That's just a one-on-one miss. That's just letting your opposition player in. As a centre, I've never defended out there, but it's like that. There's the one-on-one personal battle that you got to win. That's the battle. That's what you want, one-on-one battles, and that was too easy. Dan, you said they're going to get to 50?
They're going to get to more than that. Well,
they are in
we
the
can
mood.
continue the bidding here because we might get 60.
They are in a mood.
Oh, yeah. So 46. It was 18 and a half time.
Manly are not in a mood to defend.
Well, can you imagine what it would be if Jerome Hughes, and this is the one bad thing he didn't butcher a try at 18-2. That gave Manly... That was the catalyst for a good 15-20 minutes for Manly. And as you boys have noted, the celebrations for each of these tries, like they are really enjoying this. So now it's Tyron Wishart in the 7 jersey just into the game, and he guides it through 48-10. I tell you what we're learning, and we probably already knew this. Pappenhausen there, by the way, has a bit of ice on his hamstring there, so I'll get ready to check that. You can't get into an open game with Melbourne where fatigue, you can't beat them doing. The Dragons last week, that was a down, dirty, wet, miserable game. That seems to be the best way to beat Melbourne.
Yeah, drag them into a real war, and even if you do that, there's no guarantees you'll get the 2 points, but this approach by Manly today, I thought they were doing really well in the opening exchanges. Obviously took that 2-0 lead, but when the possession goes the way of the Melbourne Storm like it has done, they are punishing. Well, they stayed in the first half, but they were completing at 89%, 16 from 18, and now they're giving away a piggyback. So there's a chance of scoring off a kickoff again.
Well, yeah, indeed. They 3 Manly players came in and whacked Utoi Kamanu, but then they gave away a penalty, and then Munster was leading the celebrations. A big hug for Utoi Kamanu. It's obvious they've really set themselves for this. Kicking a touch, 19 short of halfway. Reedy, what have you got on Pap?
Yeah, Dan, it's a tight hamstring for Ryan Pappenhausen. They brought him off as a precaution, and Xavier Coates has actually just come off as well. So I'll go and check on him. And Dan, we had a quiet week at Manly on the DCE front. I fear this may reignite talk about the DCE situation.
Oh, the media's sharpening the knives, Gordy.
Oh dear,
boys. You know how it plays out, boys. You lose by 50.
Yeah. 48-10 they trail.
I think Coach has just come off because he's fed up of not getting any ball. Like if you're just going to give it to Anderson, then I've had enough.
There's no replacement. He's just walked off. He's just gone, fuck at this. All right, so Melbourne up to halfway with Liero. 3 tackles gone on, no markers. They've blown the ruck apart here. Grant runs in, gives it to Katoa. Rather Bloor carries it almost to the 30. Stopped by Olakawatu. Grant is toying with him. He throws to the open right to Munster, giving it on to Utoi Kamanu. He's been busy with his second stint here, and they can't stop him. He's dragged it all the way to the 20 last. So Melbourne here with Grant to Hughes, pokes up a high kick. Anderson again, he's got 3 already. Up they go, it's off hands into the in goal. I think there might have been a Melbourne touch there.
I think Grant Anderson knocks it on.
Seemed that way, and that's the way it's going up here. So maybe Manly have finally dodged a bullet.
Can we review kick chase first of all, and then knock on Grant Anderson?
I think there was certainly a chaser in front of the kick here. I'm not sure if they played a part though. No try and probably Manly ball, 14 to go.
Grant is offside on the left-hand side. We'll just monitor him and see if he becomes involved in play.
Well, he doesn't.
It's a clean run to the ball.
Up they go. It is Anderson and 2 Manly players. Opawati got a fair piece of that, it seemed, but if Anderson's got anything on it, it's going to be a Melbourne knock-on, and that's the way it went up. Oh, you got to think Anderson's got something on that. Looking at a Harvey Norman replay.
Grant Anderson knocks the ball on in the field of play.
That's the end of that. So that'll be a 20-metre tap for Manly. I think that was past the try line.
And then Luke Brooks kicks the ball dead. We have a decision.
Harvey Norman, LG 2024 TVs are priced at Quillier, hot tech deals and a $1 betting upsize deal. Harvey Norman, best brands, best prices guaranteed. Ready? Down to you, Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, and just an update on Xavier Coates. It's a groin issue, just a precautionary bringing him off the field.
Okay, thank you, Brent Reed. So Melbourne have got a 7-day break. They're back home next week. Haven't been at home for a while. They take on the Warriors. 2 p.m. They don't play the Warriors Anzac Day anymore. That's because the Warriors finally got their own game. And that game just a little ahead of Anzac Day. That usually gets a big crowd, and we'll be doing that one. Here's Jake Trebojevic, a little double pump. Manly down 48-10 with 13 to go. And now penalty Manly.
To get out of there, you're standing there just to slow it down.
So Melbourne punished for slowing down the ruck, or at least trying to. Gordy, Canterbury, Newcastle. We've got Dobbo calling that with Kevy and Ben Teo, Kevy Walters, Ben Dobbin. How do you see that one going? Is Manly about to go on the attack?
Oh, you got to go with the Dogs, just how consistent they've been in the opening rounds. They're leading the comp for a reason, Dan. They work really hard for each other. And the Knights, well, they're a mixed bag of lollies at the moment. So I'm going to go the Dogs.
Okay, now it's going to the open right. Kiro's in for the Dogs. If you missed the news earlier, so is Blake Tapp, with Corey Waddell working it up to within 12 of the Melbourne try line. So Manly here. Chances have been few and far between second half. Cherry Evans veers to the right under Brooks. Double pump, gives it on. Kohler, he's over. Kohler is in, gets his second. That's a well-orchestrated try. If ever a try has been too little too late, it's that one. And just muted smiles from Manly, 48-14.
Yeah, Kohler gets his second of the afternoon. First real opportunity in this second half for Manly Seagulls in the Westpac red zone. Brooks does a good job to just hold that pass up. Manly won't be pleased with that though. They put the foot off the throttle a little bit there after getting up to 48 points, and there's still a good 10 minutes left in this game. Coach Bellamy won't be happy with that one.
Yeah, and Kohler was really good in the first half. Hard to handle with the couple of times that he got the ball. The second half being a bit quiet besides all the Manly players, but still a class act there.
All right, Garrick, every time we see him, he's got another cut to his face. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He's in the walls, isn't he?
He sure is. 9 in from touch. And, hit the post. No good. No good. So, doesn't mean much tonight, but in terms of the point scoring title, that may matter down the track. But anyway, 48 points to 14. Melbourne's biggest win over Manly, if I've got this right, is 34 points. So they're right on that. 40-6 in 2017. That was at Amy Park. Their biggest win at Brookvale, 36-6, 2019. Yeah, that's it. So Melbourne are a decent 11 minutes away from setting a couple of marks here. By the way, Gordy, what have you noticed about the light conditions here?
Well, Dan, they're starting to take effect.
Thank you. They sure
as the lights start to take effect.
They sure are. Purple skies, floodlights bright.
And the lights start to take effect.
That's
Dan,
it.
kids can get out of the car now, go in there and have their Sunday afternoon roast.
I just don't understand. I'm happy that meaningless comment just grabs you so strongly. All right, here's Val.
Dan, sitting on the couch on Friday night, South versus the Roosters, when Mr. Ganane said, "This is not a rivalry, this is the rivalry."
Okay, all right.
I loved it.
Okay, thank you. Here's Waddell hitting it up.
I kept my clothes on, but I loved it.
Well, I'm not sure you did the way you're talking. Knock on Waddell. Here come Melbourne again, Waddell. And they're going to challenge this. You know what? I reckon they might have a case here. There did seem to be a little interference. But the sort of day Manly's having, they'll probably lose this Harvey Norman's captain's challenge. There's Grant's. Oh no, he's planted it on the foot of Grant.
No interference from Harry Grant.
You can't do that.
Waddell knocks the ball
on. Corey, bad challenge.
Oh,
well, out of desperation more than anything.
Harry is such a genius. I could see him just doing
that on purpose. You reckon? And he pointed a toe enough so like it looks like he's trying to get back.
That's right. In a normal sort of pulling back motion, but yet he knew what he was doing. All right, 35 away. Melbourne blasting Manly this afternoon. Tyron Wishart. Supposed to be the starting number 7. He's come off the bench here. He'll probably get one soon. He normally, when the Melbourne put on a big score, he normally gets one. At some point, he's a hit up now. Can Manly hold on and show some defensive resolve? A carry from Utroy Kamanu, followed up by Liero. This is tackle 3. That was almost, what was the old...
Lift the leg up and around.
The splitting of the legs there. The chicken bone, what was that one? The wishbone. The wishbone. Very mild condition of it, but there was a poor tackle there from one of the big Manly boys. Tapped now by Grant. Goes to the short right. Away, catch and pass. Out to the wing, Anderson. He's got 3. This time there are Manly defenders out there. And Anderson is put down by Brooks. 5 in from touch. 5 out from the line. Garlic first receiver. On to Liero. Keeps it going inside to Utoy Kamanu. Taken around the ankles. Stefano plays it quickly. Grant goes left again. Munster catching and passing. Away to Wishart. Nice flat pass. Legal to Bloor, but Bloor is stopped by his opposite number, Olakau'atu. Now Grant, he gets a little too cute, which is a rarity. Kicks into a Manly marker, but gets the ball back and it's 6 again. Even when he's bad, he's good. Now it's Leo, the man on debut, at dummy half. To the open right it goes. Garlic throws across the face of Wishart. It comes to Howarth. He lost the ball. That's better defence from Manly. Howarth on the right side was hit hard on the tackle. And that is the end of that for Melbourne. So 50 still eluding them with 8.5 left.
Yeah, just there, Manly. I thought they went a little bit too sideways, didn't earn the right. They tried to go coast to coast. You see Craig Bellamy drop his head there, but it's been a great performance. And the crowd's starting to leave down the hill. You can see the grass.
There are going to be people that stay here just to beat the traffic. Okay.
Stay there and beat the traffic.
You like that, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Brady, what do you got on the sideline as Manly bring it out?
Yeah, sorry, Dan, got a bit of dud mail on Xavier Coates. It's actually a tight hamstring. It's not a groin problem. Again, it's just precaution. Jerome Hughes is now off the field for a rest.
Olakau'atu steaming downfield, Reedy. He's got Munster in pursuit. There's the flick pass. That's a clever pass. That's a great try to Saab. So they've scored the last 2. Hamoe Olakau'atu was a thorn in Melbourne's side early in the game, and he has a big moment at the end. And now Saab is hobbling and clutching at the back of his hamstring. So we'll see if that comes at a cost, that try. But Saab gets the 4-pointer, but that was all big Hamoe, 48-18.
Yeah, it's just a run from Jazz Tavunga there, gets an offload. And then Manly moved the ball to the right-hand side. Olakau'atu bursts through the gap. Just Melbourne, they've had a little bit of a reshuffle in the outside backs. Saab finishes it off. But I think Melbourne are just counting the cost of that reshuffle, Gordon.
Yeah, absolutely. Just all new players on in the purple and white jersey, shuffling around. But they said Olakau'atu, he's had a good game in the first half, or even in the second half, Dan, when he got rid of Harry Grant. It was like WWE, and just there he showed a bit of speed, actually, because he had Cameron Munster chasing him, and he was footing it with him and just flicks the ball out the back to who I believe is the fastest guy in the competition.
Well, he's staying on the field, Gordy, but he doesn't look right, does he? Jason Saab really hobbling back, 48-18. By the way, Tim Zhu had a very good win, round 4 in his fight, so his career rolls on. We'll see him again shortly, no doubt. The kick from Garrick, 51% on the Pertec kick predictor, and he misses it to the right, 48-18. So Manly have scored 3 tries. Melbourne have scored 8, 48-18. 6 minutes to go here. Are you, Jimmy, Canterbury Newcastle, our game coming up next? Obviously, Canterbury die hard. Are you a little worried at all about this game?
Oh, look, I think Bulldogs have to remain consistent, especially in their approach defensively. Look, the Knights are a little bit up and down, but let's not forget the man they've got at the back.
Yes.
Like, as good as
Canterbury's defensive system is. If there's a person with the ability to break that down, it is Kalen Ponga.
Now a short kick-off, and it's taken here by Manly. Reedy, can you just have a look at the Melbourne bench? I think we might have the greatest bench ever assembled in the history of the game. Just rattle off the names when you get a moment, Reedy. And it's a fair list of players. Yeah, well, who are the 4 Melbourne players just sitting out the end of the rest of this game?
Well, at the moment, you've got Ryan Pappenhausen, Jerome Hughes, Xavier Coates, and I think the other one is Tui Kamikamitha. But he's about to come into the game, so we'll see who he replaces.
Oh, if it's Munster, it's the greatest collection ever. Now it's Bullimore shaking off here on the tackle. Shaking off a tackler and then put down. 5 short of halfway. Brooks, with 5 minutes to go, sends it long, sends it high. Easy catch, Wishart. And Wishart thinks about throwing it long across his 10-metre line, but the defenders this time are all over that one, so Wishart just takes the tackle. And now Melbourne. They've lost their intensity. They had this real appetite to just pile on the points, but Gordy, I guess with the guns coming off, they look pretty content with this win now. They're not necessarily needing to score a half century.
Yeah, no, obviously the level has dropped a little bit with Melbourne resting their stars, but it's where Manly goes from this as there's another penalty. Is sometimes when you come up against a side and you judge yourself, and it is the Melbourne Storm and probably favourites to win the competition, and you let in 48, and I don't think Melbourne were at their best. I don't think they were.
Well, now they're going to put this into touch, Melbourne. So talking about their lack of intensity, what helps is a high tackle here from Corey Waddell late in the count. That had a bit of something about him, actually. I think
swinging.
I think if it's not 48-18 and 4 minutes to go, that might have got a bit of treatment there. He'll be on the judiciary list tomorrow. But Melbourne right now are on the 30-metre line, so they do get one last chance. Waddell is on report, by the way, but no sin bin. Howarth with a run and a quick play the ball. Grant getting it on. Here it comes now to McDonald. McDonald inside the 10. Brought down by Sipley, 5 away. Manly trying to slow the play the balls down. Grant onto Munster. Who keeps it going into Kamikamitha. Put on his side. Harry Grant has been breathtaking today. He's a dummy half. He turns it in as he runs sideways to Utoi Kamanu, and he tries to pummel his way to the line, but stopped. Oh! Almost a little punch there, Utoi Kamanu, as he shook off Bullimore. That had something about it. Now Bloor goes down the left edge, and on tackle 5 he stops. So Manly just rushed up off the line here, and Melbourne haven't fired a shot. Grant does a little 360 as he runs back to the open side, finds Munster, rolls in a kick, and the chase is on. It's off legs, taken by Manly at the back, Hopewadi, and he's into the field of play. Then he gets a pass on to Fulalo. Fulalo is clear of one, steps inside Munster, then throws a long 20-metre pass out to Saab. This is good. Now Saab runs down the right side. He's got a winger on his outside, draws in to Saab, on to Garrick. Defence coming across. Garrick, though, keeps it alive. He needs to get rid of it. He does. This could be one of the great tries. Fulalo centre field, 20 away. Melbourne have retreated, though, and make the tackle. Oh, that's a sensational play by a team that's been flogged. Now, Tabunga throws to the open right to Brooks. Gets it on to Sipley. Sipley makes a beeline for little Moses Leo. Almost gets there. King with the tackle 1 metre out. Manly looking to finish a bad afternoon on a high. Tabunga, a little shimmy out of dummy half. And he can't fool the markers as he goes for the line. They stop him easily. And now a little charge over again, rugby style, pick and drive, and it's no good. Got to be better than that against Melbourne as it's about to be played. Here's Tabunga to the right of Cherry Evans. He kicks, and Garrick grounds it in the corner. If he's onside, it's a deserved try from a fantastic bit of movement, but I think Garrick's onside.
Okay, Casey, I'm coming into tackle 1. I've actually got Melbourne offside. I'm starting no try on the kick chase. Okay, but if he's offside on the kick chase,
it's a Melbourne
a penalty.
Manly penalty at worst.
Dan, you've got to marvel at Melbourne's commitment to the cause and chase back that break.
You know, in the 78th
Melbourne have been
minute,
identified as offside on the 10 metres, which is the
48
first
points
infringement.
to
Play's
18
been
up.
cleared up to this
And
point.
every
We're just
single
looking to
player
see
was on
if
their bike.
Rupert Garrick is onside.
and they presented a full line when Saab turns back in. Oh, sorry, when Garrick turns back into the middle of the field. That is sensational commitment.
But Jimmy, not only a full line, they were in the right
Based on all
spacing.
available camera angles,
They were
we'll be
spaced properly. They
supporting
didn't all
the
chase the ball. They just run straight back in, and it was a great defensive line.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
No, like the game's gone. It's done. The star players are off, but it's their autopilot. They don't know. It's their second nature to just run back and get back and help and assist and help out your teammates. That's phenomenal from the Storm.
So, no try, and Reedy, Jason Saab has been hobbling for some time.
Yeah, he's been with the trainer for a while now, Dan. He's just said it looked like an ankle problem. He's now leaving the field, so a bit of a concern for Manly.
Yeah, that last run obviously made matters worse, but he's had that problem for the last few minutes. Tavanga now, Manly, one last chance with the minutes to go. Tavanga goes left to Brooks, turns it into Waddell. Waddell is stopped by Kamikamitha and Grant. 48-18. Melbourne have been home and host for a long, long time. Play back now to Tavanga. Goes right side to Brooks. Brooks on to Cherry Evans. Flat pass legal away to Olakau'atu. Runs over King, but Munster stays on his legs the whole way. And 6 again called. It's the right call. Hello. Now finally the Battle of Brookvale just bubbles a little with Grant and Munster out of their weight division in the face of Olakau'atu. That's all it is, a little push and shove.
Oh, little. Dan.
Yeah.
Come on, mate.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Oh, I'd be out of that. How strong is Olakau'atu?
Hit up from Sipley. 2 metres out. Margin 30. Melbourne. Now, Cherry Evans is saying there's 30 seconds to go, ref. They're doing it on purpose, giving away 6 again. They're going to score anyway. Falalo sets up for the corner! And a classy put down. And Manly are going to finish with another try. That's 3 tries in a row to finish the game. So Melbourne concede a few at the end. It's a hiding no matter what. But Clayton Falalo has got his first try today and his 3rd NRL try. And Manly will finish in the 20s. 48-22, the kick will be from the sideline.
Yeah. Just that reshuffle. Is Nick Gordon that's cost the Melbourne Storm there? Players playing out of position. Look, I can't imagine Coach Bellamy being thrilled with this one. But
it's the perfect time to do it. Perfect time to do it. You know, you're up. You know, you're not going to lose the game. You rest your star players. You give some young kids some experience in there, and you know they're all defending with each other for the first time. The communication probably isn't where it's supposed to be.
The highest score Manly has conceded here at Brookie since 2018, when they lost to the Roosters 56-24. But at least some joy for the fans that have stayed with those 3 late tries. Garrick from the sideline, 48% on the kick predictor for Pertek, and the radar's back on song. He's got it. So that is that. Another high scorer. We had a high scorer last night in Brisbane. This one even more points. Melbourne 48, Manly 24. So 72 points. So it was either close games or huge score lines in this round. Off to Homebush, Accor Stadium shortly, but we'll have time for an interview, maybe 2, but probably just the 1. Jimmy, you let me know when you got your 3, 2, 1 ready for CPAP.
Ready now, Dan.
CPAP Direct. Get expert advice and unbeatable prices at CPAP Direct. Visit us in store, visit them in store, or cpap.com.au.
Yeah, some honourable mentions, and difficult to separate some of these players. Utoya Kamanu, fantastic game in the middle for the Melbourne Storm. Katoa as well, outstanding on the edge as always. But I've got to pick 3 and only 3. 1 point goes to Grant Anderson. Amazing on the wing, got a hat-trick of tries, plenty of contribution in there too. 2 points, Harry Grant, masterminded the play in the middle of the field. 3 points, Cameron Munster, and that is all due to the fact that he was setting them up and scoring them in the beginning when the contest was still one that was alive.
There'll be games that Harry Grant doesn't play as well and you give him 3. But that's, he was great.
Munster in those 2 sets. First class.
Broke the game. It was the game. It's over. This kid on debut, very nice opening from him. Brent Reid with Moses Leo.
Yeah, Moses had that feel.
Good. Definitely good to get a dub, and to be out there with the boys it's quite special, and I won't take it for granted.
It's a pretty remarkable story. We were talking on air about when you last played a game of rugby. Well, you played last week, obviously, but before that, when was your last game of rugby league?
5 years ago. So 2019, probably into 2019, around 2020. So, yeah, it's been a minute.
Who was that with?
Northcote Tigers back in Fox Memorial. Shout out to them.
So what was it like coming into this game, given you've played, one game of rugby league in 5 years? What was it like, and when did you get the word that you were playing?
Firstly, it was the boys made my job a little bit easier. Heaps of talk. Boys are class professionals, and they make my job a lot easier out there. And they really let me focus and give me heaps of positive reinforcement, and when I need a bit of critique. So it's really good. I forgot the first half of your question.
When you got the news you were playing?
Oh, Thursday. I got it on Thursday. And Bowser sort of pulled me aside and said, "How do you feel about playing first grade?" And man, couldn't wipe the smile off my face. Yeah.
It's an amazing story, right? But for you, why do it?
It's a challenge. I wanted to go, and I felt like to get the best out of me, I wanted to be here, based in Australia. Personal reasons as well. Like, I got a lot of family here. I love playing in front of them, and first time in a long time that they've seen me play, and they're here tonight, and nothing quite beats that, playing in front of your loved ones.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Very nice interview, Reedy, and nice to hear from the man on debut, Moses Leo. The story Reedy told us earlier came from Rugby Sevens. Hardly played rugby league. 27 years of age, and a very solid debut for him, Moses Leo. Right, 48-24. Final thoughts from you, Gordon Tallis. Melbourne Storm. I asked you before if they were the best team. I think they confirmed that this afternoon.
Yep. Did it hands and heels. If we're talking about horse racing, they eased off the pedal. They didn't even need the whip.
They sure did.
They didn't need the whip.
All right. Thank you, Gordy. Thank you, Jimmy Graham.
Pleasure.
And thank you to the staff behind the scenes. They got it up and running in the end. And we got an entertaining afternoon's rugby league. And we'll be back to do it all again just after this break. Don't have to wait till Thursday night, because we've got Dobbo and company, Kevin Walters, Ben Teo, about to call the Bulldogs and the Newcastle Knights. Enjoy that. Triple M rocking the footy.
Specsavers Audiology. Rediscover the joy of everyday sounds with a Specsavers hearing expert today.
The Triple M NRL Play of the Day.
Munster runs, then he gets a pass to Hughes, and he takes off and he breaks them open. Early ball from Munster, too early. Munster gets it on to Ryan Pappenhausen, and he's under the sticks.
We've been paying your M's, yeah. Free tolls for a year. The M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, M7, and the
Triple M's Pay Your M's. We just want to know, what tolls do you use? Free tolls for an entire year.
The M5 and the M4.
M2 and M7 tolls every day.
Congratulations, you've won tolls for a year.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys.
The Triple M toll booth opens with Triple M breakfast and right across the day tomorrow.
Macca's enters the Minecraft universe with the new A Minecraft Movie Meal. Get one of 6 collectibles, including Grimace Egg and Zombie Hamburglar, with your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece Chicken McNuggets with new Nether Flame sauce. At participating restaurants for a limited time. A Minecraft Movie only in cinemas.
You know, Jax, money a mickle, Max a muckle.
Sometimes I only understand about 30% of what you say, Sarge.
Still sounds like a good deal to me.
It does?
Well, that's precisely what you can save off your first year of home and contents insurance with Budget Direct.
Save 30% on your first year's premium when you purchase a new combined home and contents policy online with Budget Direct.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
Discount applies to your first year's premium for a new policy purchased online. Issue Auto and General Insurance Company Limited. Read PDS and TMD at budgetdirect.com.au to see your product suits.
At Mounties, every Thursday during April, you have a chance to win big. $1,000 cash, $10,000 cash, a brand new BMW, or a trip to Vegas. Simply swipe daily to increase your chances. Draws start from 7 p.m, so be there to win.
T's and C's apply. Authorised under New South Wales Permit NTP 12056. Entries open Saturday 1st Feb to Thursday 24 April 2025.
Don't miss out. Start swiping today at Mounties.
Really like people
Okay,
saying.
ladies, set menu or a la carte?
Yes, please.
Mandy hates having to choose.
You can't have both, madam.
Reminds me of my old home loan.
competitive rate or flexible features.
But by switching to Macquarie Bank, she got a home loan designed with good borrowers in mind, so she could enjoy a great rate with all the features she needs for a better banking experience.
Yeah, I can have my cake and eat it too.
Good borrowers deserve to get it all. So search Macquarie Home Loans or speak to your broker and say,
I bank with Macquarie.
Lending criteria, fees and T's apply.
With so many holiday homes on Booking.com, there are so many Tina Feys I could be. Surfing Tina at a beach villa. Is that a shark? Or channel surfing Tina in an apartment. Ooh, a shark show. Book whoever you want to be. Booking.com, yeah.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Have you ever dreamed of having the world's best Italian-made tiles in your home? Right now at National Tiles, select any one of our 17 very popular standard range tiles and we'll upgrade you to the world's very best Italian-made tiles absolutely free, saving you a massive $4,000 on an average 80 square metre order. Yes, have the world's best Italian-made tiles and depending on quantity, save up to $4,000 or more. But you'll have to be quick. So rush into National Tiles now and save. Conditions apply.
Do you have a big piece of junk you wish would disappear?
Would you happily pay to make it go away?
How does $149 sound?
Did you just promise that we would haul away any first item for just $149?
Yes. Wasn't that the plan?
Well, it is now.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Let the party begin.
1-800-GOT-JUNK will haul away the first thing you point at. Anything two strong people can carry.
For just $149.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1800gotjunk.com. Shut up. Footy's on Triple M. Triple M rocks footy. Full-time highlights.
Get expert service trusted by the trade at your local Mitre 10 Trade Centre.
Munster, short pass. Ucho Kamanu goes through and scores. You can't give Melbourne that many chances. They'll eventually find their way over, and they've done it with an unlikely first try scorer. Stefano Ucho Kamanu keeps it going to Hughes. Hughes to Munster. Dummies, falls on Kawatsu, goes for the line and scores. Comes to the open right to Munster. A little gallop. Now on to Hughes. Then the floating pass. It's another Melbourne try as Anderson strolls over. Manly closing in. Simpkins backs back. Last tackle. Brooks away. Kohler got over this time. Kohler decided he was going to go again, and this time no one was going to stop him. Last tackle, Hughes. Oh, magnificent cutout pass. Anderson can see the line, and he contorts his way over. Munster runs. Then he gets a pass to Hughes, and he takes off, and he breaks them open. Early ball for Munster. Too early. Munster gets it on to Ryan Pappenhausen, and he's under the sticks. Grant centrefield. Fires it right to Pappenhausen. Gets it on the Katoa. Out it goes to Anderson. He's got three. It can't be that easy. And now Grant shows inside, and then Stab kicks down the middle. The chase is on here, and this is going to be a try. Howard from the scrum. He's gone through some pathetic Manly defence, and he scores. Sherry Evans veers to the right under Brooks. Double pump, gives it on Kohler. He's over. Kohler is in, gets his second. That's a well-orchestrated try. Olakawatu steaming downfield, Reedy. He's got Munster in pursuit. There's the flick pass. That's a clever pass. That's a great try to Saal. They're going to score anyway. Fa'alolo set Saal for the corner. And a classy put down. And Manly going to finish with another try. Melbourne 48. Manly 24.
Yeah, we are live from Accor Stadium. There is the full-time highlights of that really impressive performance. Melbourne over Manly, 48 points to 24. Accor Stadium, the final game of round 5. It's the Knights taking on the Bulldogs. We'll be back very shortly with kickoff.